give props. Witness the Steem block crew, bear witness. And Larimer, Ned Scott.
What's up, everyone?
Them, there's no chain on our block.
Getting started here. Raggedy start. You guys, on my end, we're listening to the official Steem anthem by Rest 100 of 5-Star Entertainment. Everyone else is getting their stuff set up. We'll be coming on shortly. What's up, Gone Rogue?
Yo, what's up, John?
How's it going? I'm live on my end.
Cool. I am just live now.
There
so
we
we're
go.
good to go over here. I just need to swap screens here.
Oh, ESP changes here.
Pop.
That's always good. Patrick went and got his beers. He's ready to roll.
Hey, everybody.
Good evening. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very well. Very well.
Actually,
What's
you know
new?
what? Let's do this
All kinds of new stuff. It's been like a week since we talked.
one.
Seems like forever.
Yeah, so everything that's
Absolutely.
happened since then is new. How are you doing, Mr. Spalding?
I'm all right.
From Gonna Goo?
I'm all right. Got some coffee for tonight, so I
Do
can
you?
stay awake. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Have you had a long day? You gonna struggle later on?
Put on the,
I'll probably start struggling in an hour.
I think I'm already struggling at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a long day.
That's self-induced, though, right, Pat?
That's more on my side, yeah. I'll take blame there.
What's going on with you? ESP change? What's new, my friend?
Just got on the Discord a little while ago, and coincidentally, because I had forgotten about this evening, and I realized that there's probably a link on there to the Google Doc, and it said, "Hey, any ideas in terms of a theme?" And I didn't have time to go to the Google Doc. I just wrote down some questions and some ideas and things, some stuff that I'm curious about, and. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys ever think about this stuff during the week, or do you just put it in a file and tuck it away, and then we come back and start all over again?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much part of everybody's lives. But I don't want to speak for everybody else.
Speak for you.
Yeah, I mean it's totally a part of my everyday life. I try to keep up with everything that's going on. Think of new things. Some of the stuff that I've been doing this last week was just reformatting how my stream looks and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a standstill when it comes to any of this.
Good.
At least
Good.
for me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and just because I hadn't been on Discord in a while, and just because I forgot about this evening, doesn't mean that I'm not involved with this sort of stuff all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's so that was kind of one of the things on my mind is how do you guys approach this? Is it file 13? Does it go in the back of the bottom shelf? Or
No. In fact, we met on Saturday, so it's like it usually turns out. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it usually turns out that we meet, and that's on our Telegram group. So if you're on Telegram, join that. I guess I didn't even think about putting anything over in the Discord on streamers 24-hour.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we do that. And usually it ends up being once a month where we reflect on previous month, plan the next one, and kind of do a real-time diagnosis on what's going well, what's not going well.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, one of the things that came out of last week's one was that it was really, we were all trying to figure out the best strategy for the VOD part, like getting people to watch the recordings afterwards and how each individual person was going to do it.
Right.
And then the other one was how to make sure that as we grow that we're having good facilitated conversations, not necessarily where we're like auditing people and telling them what to say and what not to say, but making sure that people are staying on topic and that we're effectively doing an effective job of moderating ourselves to keep it on
Right.
point, and if not, change it, but still keep it productive.
Well, and that's interesting because I can fall into the free form thing. I'm comfortable with that, but I also know that once in a while I get too wordy and I digress. But yeah, it kind of might leave people that are new to it or that aren't familiar with it. It might leave them with the idea that it's lacking focus. So,
Right. Right.
And the other thing is that I'd be disheartened if I heard that you guys didn't talk about this. You didn't communicate, and you didn't have stuff going on in the background. Just because I'm not privy to it, that doesn't really matter that much to me. I'm reassured just knowing that you guys are thinking about this and that you're working on it. So heck yeah, good
Yeah,
stuff.
and
What
if
was that
you
thing you mentioned, that other platform you mentioned. You met on Saturday on something.
no,
Oh, I
no,
thought you mentioned another platform.
no, we meet on Zoom. We just don't broadcast it.
Oh, I got you. Cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And here's this guy, and he actually inspired me in terms of some of the ideas and the questions I was writing down earlier. Because I started yapping at poor straight edge punk there about he had this idea for a project, and I suggested maybe a way to approach that and that kind of thing. But that inspired me to, when I was jotting down some of the ideas earlier, one of the things I was curious about is I get that you guys are probably working on how to showcase this group and how to, turn it more into a community and even expand that community. But also I'm wondering about individual projects and things. What sort of pursuits do you guys have? What are you interested in? And it was also, so you had talked a little bit about this idea that you had that you weren't going to pursue, so you were just willing to throw it out there. But Eric Wilson also mentioned that I'm having another one of those moments where I'm going blank. Damn it. Anyway, something else Eric Wilson said.
I don't exactly remember what he said either.
Yeah, I've forgotten what it was exactly. Oops. Oh well, maybe I'll get back to it.
At some point.
So you want to hear what I jotted down?
All right.
Absolutely.
While everybody's listening, while I'm yapping. So one of the things that I find it interesting that I fell in with a group of live streamers, but I got here via Steem It, right?
Mhm.
And that's cool. And the first time I talked to you guys, I told you that what I really like about video chat, and especially group video chat, is the immediacy of it. And so I like that. And and I think I mentioned that it's the opposite of what I see going on with a lot of the stuff that's on the web, or a lot of the stuff that we see done via people and computers, where we distance ourselves. Everything from Donald Trump's tweets to the way people text each other, it's moving away from that immediacy, and that's what I like about this. It's kind of the opposite. It's moving in the opposite direction of the overall trend. And I'm not going to pretend I'm not an idiot. I know that video chat is not new, and I know that people use it all the time, but I don't know. I like to see it. Anyway, so getting to that, and having said what I said before that, is I was wondering how as a group, this group could mobilize and have more of an impact on Steem It. And what does impact mean? How can you? What are the ideas as far as showcasing or highlighting the community and growing it? And back to also your individual projects, and also guests. I liked it when you've had the guests on. You guys have any idea, going forward, in terms of who you'd like to see on here as guests, or even topics? What topics do you guys have in mind in terms of exploring in greater detail? how to go about that. So that's kind of a bunch of stuff I just threw out there. Okay.
Yeah, who wants to take that?
Any of that, all of it.
Yeah, that's good.
What are your projects? How can you grow this? Who do you have in mind in terms of guests? What would be some cool topics there? I just summarized.
Yeah, listen, I think for this week, I know we decided to go the preemptive route, and I like the idea of keeping preemptives going just because it highlights other community members.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And it's also, sorry to interrupt, but it's also good for engagement for the show in general.
Yeah.
The Narishi, or the chick, the name I can't understand or pronounce still.
Narashi.
Narashi. Okay, that's
nailed it.
Yeah, and some of the reasons why I like it is because it gives us we see the world through different eyes, if you will, right? From different perspectives, and I love that because everybody has a different topic to bring. So preemptives, I like that idea and keeping that going.
It's a good segment.
bad in Rush. It took me like 3 or 4 times to understand how to pronounce Waymon.
Heck yeah.
And for the hell was I gonna say?
See, I do that too. It's not
No. You had great questions, man, and that's essentially why we jumped on Saturday to try and talk about. Guests came up, and everybody loves the idea of continuing having guests come on and highlighting other projects that are happening.
right.
I know we had the was it the developer or what have you of D-like the other, and I think that was the same time that we had Air Clinic and Oracle D. Well, Oracle D has showed interest to come back, and I know Pat can speak a little bit more on that. So we'll continue engaging with Oracle D and see what, just kind of highlight how the community is developing, and I think it's important.
Yep.
A project that I'm interested to hear Patrick's input on is Lit, which is supposed to be like a Snapchat on the Ethereum blockchain.
Interesting. Cool.
Well, if it's on Ethereum, I think we all know that Patrick likes it a lot.
Right up my alley.
Probably invested in it already. So, and then to get... No, do you have any thoughts on that, Patrick? Have you even heard of it? I've never heard of it.
I think I'd seen it maybe on a Steam post here on Trending. I seen someone talk about it. That being said, I haven't looked into it. I literally use 2 coins. So there's Bitcoin and then there's Steem to me, and everything else I don't even look into. So I don't know.
So there you go. I can answer your question, or at least take a stab at it as well, ESP. What we decided on what we would do is, and this is really as people are available, that we would try to do a topic focus for 1 week, and then the opposite week we would just have it random. People come in, we bring the topics, because
Alternate.
how the Steeming Pile normally is supposed to run is everyone comes in here in the beginning, and we kind of figure out the topics that we want to talk about. Then we just kind of schedule those discussions and start in with the chat. Now, usually with a small group like this, we just kind of hop in and have a conversation for 2 or 3 hours with some guests either sprinkled in throughout or, things that show up. I'm glad that Jiu-Jitsu came in. Hopefully we can hear him because he has some ideas too around, like one of the things that I talked about on Saturday was utilizing breakout groups more and being more creative with what we can do on our individual streams to intentionally use breakout groups, either like show a movie or do some active curation or do poetry readings or something like that, and then bring everyone back as a whole group and kind of share what each channel did. So I think that's the next step, and I know that I kind of talked about that with Jiu-Jitsu this morning on his stream. So I know that he is coming with some ideas and things like that. So, I guess we'll just see as far as where it goes. I think the other thing that we need to do and realize is is be there for the Vim community and help grow that community.
I was
And
wondering about that. Cool. Go ahead.
yeah, and then I think building bridges with the folks at MSP Waves, I think, is important because they've been around for a while, and there's a lot of people over there that we haven't even interacted with. I would say, like,
What is MSP Waves?
it's the radio project
They're
for
like a group
Steeming.
of people that play like music all day long. It's kind of like a radio station, if you want to call it that, on Vim.
So it's live music casting?
Pretty much.
Music
yeah.
and talk.
Okay, so it's just live audio narrowcasting, point to point, point to multi-point. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
and MSP was Minnow Support Project, right? Or
Correct.
something rather.
And I didn't mean to break up your chain of thought, but
Okay.
I needed to ask that. Sorry.
Yep. No, that was it. So we actually came up with, and then there was some person that was in Vim that was looking for help with live streaming or some questions on using Vim, and so I invited him on tonight. I think he's teaching until 10:30, but he's going to come on here after that and
Cool.
ask some questions and interact with us.
Well, and that's always good. That's always good.
And then we do our live curation where we do preemptive strikes. We put the show logo, and whoever does them, they put the live streamer's name and let them know that their post is going to be broadcast on the next show. So I know we're going to do some of those tonight.
Well, let me ask, who's rebroadcasting on Vim right now or simulcasting?
Check,
All
check.
right, there's a couple of them right there. Okay.
Probably the only one that isn't, because I'm pretty much sitting here on watching it actually.
Well, and you know, the first time I came in here, I talked about how I didn't think that my computer was handling OBS well enough, and that's why I don't do any of that. But actually, I've come to think that maybe it's my bandwidth. I live in North Carolina. We get 120 down and like 5 up, so that's probably it. So I've been looking into getting Google Fiber.
If you have 5 up, that should work.
Well, wish me luck, because in the past when I've done it, it just looked like crap. So
Yeah.
And yeah, I've lived down in the Carolinas. I know what that's like.
And with Vim, you have to set quite a lower bit rate than I would broadcast to Facebook on.
And I have numerous housemates too, so that's the real wild
Oh,
card.
there you go too. Yeah.
They're not tech savvy.
Just before the show, just go in and turn all their devices off.
What you mean is go into the router and fuck them over. I'm reluctant to do that, but yeah, I got you. QoS.
I think, yeah, Patrick. I think 1800 is good. I think I'd do 15 or 18, something like that.
Yeah.
1800, huh? Okay, got you.
And let's see, Jiu-Jitsu. Are you able to say hi? Do you have a microphone? And what's up, Eric? You can say hi too.
Hey.
Yeah, guys, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yo.
Any feedback on my mic?
No, you sound
Nope.
good.
Okay, good.
Glad you could join us.
Absolutely.
I just got home, so I remembered you guys were hopping on tonight. I was trying to make sure I got home by 8:30. So
Cool.
thanks for reminding me.
Nice.
We appreciate you being on.
Yeah, it's good to have everybody.
So,
And for this third week in a row, Katie's doing a stream.
18, 19, or 2000. Interesting. Somewhere in that range.
So before we get started, Jiu-Jitsu, did you hear, like, one of the opening questions was, what's the future, what's possible with simulcasting and group video chats that hasn't been done before? I don't want you to give away all your ideas, but if you have some thoughts on that, that'd be cool to hear.
Yeah, it was similar to the ideas that you were saying with curation and the things you can do as a group and the interacting that you can do as a group. I mean, you can include like your Steeming Pile is a good example of that. I'm not sure exactly where you guys came from before you got on Steem and Vim, but the fact that all of you can get on Vim and rebroadcast the same show, but each one of your accounts earns rewards. And that kind of gives each one of you incentive to promote, because most likely the people that are upvoting your individual accounts, like I just went through and any of you guys that had it up, I upvoted all of you. but
Well,
you're going to
thank
draw
you.
your own friends, your own fans individually. The fact that you can get your audience involved and find ways to curate their content or interact with them and give them rewards, and of course any guests that you have on. I just think that the door is wide open to change everything. That's the thing that when you do your own show, you're responsible for building your own audience and getting your own momentum. But when you have a group, I think the group is going to feed on each other and get that crossover vote and that crossover reward. So what's good for each individual in the group on a show like this is also good for the group as a whole, because you're going to attract crossover for every participant, for every person that's listening, for every guest that you have on. I mean, I have some ideas that I definitely want to discuss with you guys in the future. I do want to nail down some of the finer points before I introduce them, but I think you guys probably have some very similar thoughts that I do. So it's nothing new, but I'm sure we all have different takes on how you would implement it, what types of specific ideas you want to do.
Nice.
Yep.
I got some concepts.
Fun. Now I always like tossing around ideas, man. So yeah, I mean, whenever you feel comfortable, or you got something put together that, yeah, I just
Well,
love.
I brought this up to Eric Wilson. Don't know if he's still in here. I saw him put a message to be right back. I'm planning on putting together like an esports league of sorts called the Hardcore Snow Day League, where it's Rocket League's hockey mode basically, and the whole league is surrounded about like the NHL style of doing things. And my concept of like using Zoom is like you have this one team and then it's pointing at them, but also their television. So you see their perspective, the other team's doing the same thing and they're up here and both corners of the screen. And then the rest of the screen is the live broadcast for the HSL.
What's the HSL? That's for
Hardcore
the hard.
League.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would be interested to see how how that would show up, the corner, using like what cameras or how you would use that to get to capture the zoom. I mean, you could use phones, I think.
I'd probably have to like have a couple different windows open with a few different Zoom accounts, because it doesn't take much to create them, and trim those windows down to get that footage for that stuttering particular user, so that it's in a small enough picture to be put in those areas.
Well, and you're thinking like either a cam model, dare I say it, or a seasoned video chatter, in that that's the thing that you can do, is come up with, and I've talked about this before, innovative ways to cam.
Right.
Right. You're still going to be a guy chatting and being involved in whatever activity, in this case sports, that's been done. But how you go about it, that's the innovation. Heck yeah.
Well, how we go about it is it's going to be a bit more complex than most of the esports thing you've seen. It's like,
well, good. Surprise me.
we're actually asking the teams to come up with what they want their goal and song combination to be.
Cool. That's even better.
We're also planning on having them physically show up here in New York for the presentation of our championship, the Unity Cup.
Heck yeah.
Nice. And I think you can claim that space too, because there aren't a lot of sports type streams yet here on Vim.
Yep.
And that project will most likely be held back until the 2019-2020
Any of
NHL.
you guys around in the early days of Steem for the I forget the account, but basically what had happened was someone had an account that would let you effectively send Steem. They kind of acted as the broker, as the bookie. And if you had a UFC fight, I could bet on one person, you could bet on the other. Everyone would put their bets in, and then the top three people or the winners would get paid out. And but all their posts, I think it was just maybe at Steem Sports. Were any of you guys around in the early days of Steem for Steem
No,
Sports?
but that sounds cool.
The community kind of like
gambling.
forced them to stop doing what they were doing because they said that they were stealing
believe
the majority of the rewards on Steam. That's the thing about the sports stuff is I noticed it didn't quite take off as much after that because it seemed like they slammed that guy and his company pretty hard early.
Wow.
Well,
I wonder how
that's
that
why
would
I try
change
to-
now with SMTs.
That legal gray area.
I try to keep that all in perspective because when I first started going on Steam, that was a big thing, and a lot of people were upset at what was going on. And I left for a while, came back, and then they were like not even in the top 10 anymore. You know, and then there's some other people that people have. There's always going to be somebody that people have an issue with, and it's just I feel that we kind of have to step up and create better content to overshadow them.
Yeah.
Now I remembered seeing you, Eric, and I was hoping when I saw you, I'd be reminded I was trying to say something or mention you earlier. And I had talked about how, you know, I'm wondering how this community can highlight itself on Steam at the platform, because you're doing what you're doing in live casting. I love that. But I was also wondering about people's individual projects. And now I recall that last week you had talked about since the change with DLive, how you were trying to tweak your approach in terms of your live broadcasting. And that's what got me to thinking. That's what kind of inspired me. You, as well as Straight Edge Punk, kind of inspired me to ask, what are people up to? What are your projects? What are y'all doing?
It's the Straight Edge Punks, by the way. There's another individual that's part of the group, Nick P. Halo. But
I should probably just call you TJ. Does that work? I don't know.
And Sharen's here.
Nick is fast asleep by now. He
So,
has to go to work
Acid-
tomorrow morning.
What?
Acid just chimed in inside of my chat that he says he thinks the biggest reason the Steam Sports downfall was that they were being a little bit too greedy with the percentage they took for themselves, but he's not 100% sure on that.
Gotcha. Well,
It's a lack of
And I
profit.
just told
That's
Katie that she's streaming during the Steeming Pile again, and she said this is her designating streaming time.
and
It works. It works. Whatever arrangement they have, that's their business.
that's right. And make sure you guys check out Acid's latest post on his thoughts on the Hard Fork 20 and future adapts and all that kind of stuff on the Steam blockchain. Sharen, if you want to turn on your camera and mic and say hi, or Sean, if you want to turn on yours, I know Sean's walking out of the airport.
I'd be interested to hear what Sheeran or I think that's how it is. Yeah, I want to know what he has to say.
I believe it's Shiren.
More coffee.
He's going to let us.
He's told
We'll set
me,
the record
and I
straight.
forgot.
We'll set the record straight. He's busy right now. He's finishing up a call. What about you, Sean? Can you? Are you able to? Oh, there he is.
Hey, everybody.
No, we can't hear you. I don't know why. I don't know why. You'll have to try again or check your phone settings.
Yeah, we had this problem on Saturday during the fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he'll tinker around with it.
Okay. Well, listen. We got some preemptives that we can do, correct?
Yep.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Right on.
I'll go next.
Oh, and then after we do let's do 2 sets of preemptives, and then we're gonna help Jiu-Jitsu with a Vim or a OBS question, and then we're gonna have him do his 10 quick fire questions.
Oh, right on. Cool. And I did switch up the questions, so we have fresh questions thanks to you, John.
That's thanks to museumhack.com.
All right, let me share this guy.
Same thing as last week. Torment Katie.
Let me pull this up. Yeah, dude. Okay. Probably wait. Might be too soon.
How do I pull that link onto my mobile phone from my desktop?
All right, cool. So I'm sharing my screen now. All right, so one of my first preemptives was this guy. So the greatest mystery the pyramids and Egypt are still hiding. And the reason why I highlighted this was, yeah, we could hear you, Sean.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Go ahead.
Yeah, right on, man. One reason why I highlighted this is I've personally always had a fascination with this, and we see this all the time on, at least when I was growing up, all the time on the History Channel or somewhere on a TV series, talking about the mysteries of what the hell goes on at the Great Pyramids, and just the entire realm that is the Upper Nile and Upper Egypt and all that good shit that goes on there. And so this was a nice little synopsis on essentially like some of the research that's being done in there. And it's like, what's crazy, and if you guys start to get into the research of this stuff, is you'll understand that there's a level of secrecy, if you will, or you end up running into roadblocks when you deal with like I forget what the hell his name is, but he's essentially the director of Egyptian artifacts or something, right? And there's only so much information that this guy will leave out. He's essentially the gatekeeper for any kind of research and excavations or anything that's being done in this realm here. And why I find this like significant in today's day and age is like, we are more asking questions about what the hell is going on, right? And where like human history comes from. And my fascination with Egypt is like it's still there. I've dropped it. We haven't said much about it, although I've listened to some recent interviews with, if you guys are familiar with this, the hell do they call them? His name's Robert Schock. I forget what the hell his
archaeologist.
Archaeologist. Thank you. Yes, a recent archaeologist who approaches these things in a more unbiased manner. And the type of research that him and the likes of like Graham Hancock do around the history of civilization and just the human species in general, and what they've done with Egypt is incredible. And this stuff highlights a little bit of what they touch on. And one of those things is that there is a void or an open chamber that's below the Sphinx. And this was done by some scans that were done at the front of the Sphinx and between its foot and stuff like that. This goes into basically talking about how it could be a library of sorts. But anyways, regardless of the fact, nobody's been down there. There seems to be some kind of void. And I love highlighting and resurfacing like the efforts that go on in that realm with people who aren't mainstream archaeologists, but they tackled the issue from a very serious standpoint. And those are people like I've mentioned, Graham Hancock or Robert Schock. So good stuff here, good article, and quick little summary by Walking Key about what's going on in Egypt and how it is still a mystery.
Now, Mickey, you can come out with it. Are you a Ancient Aliens fan?
No. So I've watched.
Come on.
So I've watched it. Listen, so I've watched it, and I entertain the idea a little bit, but
right.
It's not. Listen. This is excellent because it does then bring this up, right? There are massive monoliths, dude. Okay, in precision in how these things and some of the sculptures that are on these monoliths, the base of some of these this architecture, there's some precision involved. And if we cannot replicate that stuff today, yes, it makes you question how these things were done. Okay, so, and I'm a fan, trust me, I jumped down the rabbit hole, and I'm a fan of aliens. Okay, I absolutely believe they exist. We're naive to think that we're the only species, or even naive and pompous to even call ourselves an intelligent species of the universe. So I entertain that idea for sure. But ancient aliens, like they I don't know, man. They kind of at least for me, it turned it a bit comical, and took it down like a ton of different roads and just out, kind of far-fetched ways. It wasn't my cup of tea. But anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
I like you. I love entertaining that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because I listen to it doesn't mean I believe it, but I certainly like hearing the arguments.
Absolutely. So there was that. The next guy was, again, is equally interesting, and it was this. So there was a science article put out about this agricultural bioweapon technology being developed by DARPA. Now, this title's a bit misleading because it isn't really a bioweapon, but in this article, they go in and talk about how it could possibly be used as a bioweapon. And I think this is an argument with any kind of new technology that comes out. We tend to latch on to the negative aspects of some things and worry about them, which is, we need that, right? We need to question some of the dark aspects of how, where some things could be taken, and how do we stop something from like that, actually coming to fruition. But what's interesting is these guys have developed super miniature, basically utilizing nanotechnology, creating aphids, and you see here like mosquitoes. This is just it's not a real representation of it, but small little aphids and stuff. And the idea here is their argument for why they created this technology was to help crops resist certain elements of nature, perhaps droughts or whatever it is, diseases that they might, I don't know, that might come and infest a crop or something. And what these little bio insects do is they'll carry a gene, okay, and end up and essentially plant this gene in each of the crops, which then go on to evolve or develop a different gene to become resistant the next time they have to harvest, or the next time they germinate, which is pretty crazy. And we know that and DARPA was working on this. We know that actually I believe it was the internet, the shit that we're talking to right now, okay, that we're utilizing and talking to each other with right now was a DARPA project that was essentially then given to the masses. So cool stuff, interesting. Gets into some, like I said, some of the negative aspects that it could be used for, but I still,
Hey, Gone Rogue.
I'm fascinated by technology. So we at the same time, you have to be kind of
Hey, Gone Rogue.
Yeah, what's up?
You're gonna need to check your microphone in OBS, and thank Rook if you're able to fix it.
Yeah, what's up?
I was hearing you fine.
Yeah, we can hear him in Zoom, and we can hear him
Check.
on everyone else's stream. But Rook said that he couldn't hear you on your own stream.
Ah, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Oh my. All right, cool.
So for everyone else who's watching our streams, you've done a great job.
Help us out.
And you can take any one of our recordings and edit in yourself and re-edit your final version.
I'm okay. I think I've fixed it now. I see signal coming in through OBS, so we're good. So I don't know where I was at. I'm always fascinated with technology, and I think that even though there are negative aspects to where these things, it could be taken, we have to be a step ahead in thinking of ways to mitigate that stuff, or think of better ways to utilize shit, right? And make the negative ways that these things could be used obsolete, or null and void. There's no reason to even do it. But very, very interesting shit, and I highly suggest you guys check it out. And yeah, that's all I have, man.
Always good.
Yeah. All right. Handing it off to you, Narashi.
What's up, you guys? So I, as always, have some art, and then I have some fun herbal facts. So
I'm probably the first to eat while doing this.
Let me figure out how to.
Nope.
Let's see.
I get hungry by this time.
You guys see the right screen? Hold on. I can't move this. I don't know what you guys are looking at.
We're looking at your Zoom free account.
Your Zoom client is what I see.
There you go.
Right, that's better, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, Peter Grick, he does some crazy, eerie, post-apocalyptic looking type art. And unfortunately, he doesn't leave any type of details as to the process. I mean, he's got a couple of zoomed in images here or whatever. So I don't know. I wanted to show you guys this art because it's just so crazy, detailed, just unique type of art style. And I'll just kind of go through some of these. So yeah, shout out to this guy. Just some really in-depth.
Reminds me of Giger. Is it Geiger?
I know
I know who you're talking about,
but I don't remember what it's called.
The aliens guy.
Yeah.
Geiger.
This looks real to me. It just looks like a bunch of wood intertwined. That's some crazy stuff.
So it's really not too complicated to pull off if you know how to use Photoshop.
He's actually, these are paintings.
Oh.
He's using acrylic to paint these. So yeah, some of these are repeats. But so yeah, that's Peter Grick.
That's really neat.
Really awesome artist. And then I have notes written on this. This is about a plant called burdock. It's a pretty common plant found all over the world. Just pull up my notes real quick.
My ex used to make a poultice out of burdock.
Nice. So I think information like this is really important. For it to be available, the fact that it's on the blockchain. This is also kernel, by the way. Kind of funny synchronicity there, gone rogue. But yeah, so this plant is good for a bunch of stuff. Stimulates the digestive system while regulating glycemic. Soothes skin conditions such as psoriasis. It is highly edible. It was actually the inspiration for Velcro by George de Mistral. Let's see if I can find his name here.
Interesting.
Hold on. Or this guy right here.
And
found that it was sticking to his clothes and dog's fur and the hook system of that, and so then became the birth of Velcro, which is pretty crazy. Let's see, what else do I have here?
That stuff sticks to my dog all the time.
Found in many regions: Scandinavia, Mediterranean, Britain, Russia, Japan, North America, Australia, to name a few. Used orally to treat urine flow, kill germs, reduce fever, purify blood, colds, anorexia, stomach issues, joint pain, gout, bladder infections, diabetes, high blood pressure, hardened arteries, liver disease, and also used to increase sex drive. And the only risks that this guy has at least gone over are that people that are allergic to ragweed, chrysanthemum, marigolds. He said it was, I cannot pronounce this, but anything in this family of plants, you should stay away from it. It might slow blood clotting. Don't use it during surgeries, and people with diabetes might have issues with their blood sugar levels while using it.
Don't feed it to Katie, Patrick.
So yeah, I just thought this was really cool. I didn't know anything about this plant before reading this article, so I thought I would share it with you guys.
Thank you.
Right on.
And those are my preemptives.
Happy preemptives.
Cool,
to
cool. All right. Just a point of order. If you don't have individual conversations with people while we're doing the show, but then only because we had a couple other people come on. So use the chat feature as best you can for stuff like that. We had I thought we lost. Yep. Farrison is in and Moan is on. Are you guys live? How are you? If you're just listening and lurking, that's okay too.
Hello there.
Yeah,
Hey,
kind of.
Sharon, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for coming on.
I'm not sure why, but
Could you
the
clarify for us? Is it Sheeran, Shiren?
Sharon.
Sheeran.
Sharon,
Good stuff.
got it.
Then we have awesome. Welcome, Sheeran. We've got Farism, and who else?
Moan, he was on last time.
Wait. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that. Okay. Cool.
It's like 5 in the morning for him, he says.
Gotcha. You guys want to say hi? If not,
That's a firm negative.
on to the next.
So I
welcome.
think Farrison may actually be hanging out for actually my preemptive strike that I was going to do tonight.
Nice.
I got no idea
Yeah,
why I'm here.
That's actually the reason why I came in. I was curious about those preemptive
Was it?
strikes.
Yeah, Sheeran.
Can someone explain what that is to me?
Yeah,
Ask that.
absolutely. So that's Sheeran. He's asking
okay.
about preemptives and what their purpose is.
Sure.
And they may be different for everybody. But so I talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the show, and the reason I like preemptives, and the idea behind preemptives was each of the simulcasters would obviously engages with different nodes of the community, different people that live out there, and we all run across really fascinating articles and stuff that piques our interest. So one of the ideas was to essentially go out and preemptively strike their post, which in an easy way of saying that is just poking at them and saying, hey, just so you know, we've viewed your post. I like it, and I'm going to be how do I say this? Need some help here. we're going to be showcasing it during this simulcast, the Steeming Pile. And I like the idea because, as I said earlier, it's like what's cool is we all have different perspectives in life, and everybody has different perspectives of what fascinates them. And we all have a chance to like bring that to the pile in its middle and just talk about it. And essentially, we have our 10 minutes to explain why it intrigues us so much. So that's my little view of what a preemptive is.
Right. And I'm just showing on here what they look like. So we have markup language for it. And so each of us kind of takes this markup language and we go and put it in the comments section as a reply to someone's post that we're going to bring out. And it kind of just says, hey, here's, you got a preemptive strike. Here it is. And one of our simulcasters is going to talk about it tonight. So I don't know if that helps. Yeah, it's
Or
kind of
graphic
like
facilitator.
I'm learning stuff.
And so those are my three. I'll get to those in a minute. But yeah, that's what we do. And that's why we do it. I think Gone Rogue did a good job of explaining why. So
Thank you.
yeah, so all right. Well, listen. For those of you that are just lurking, that's cool. You guys are welcome and you don't have to say a darn thing. For those of you who want to say something, you kind of are going to have to get in when you fit in, or when you are moved by a topic that we're talking about. I see the one dude from, and then it cuts off is here. These must be all of Patrick's friends that he's inviting onto the show and giving them the link. But listen, Jiu-Jitsu's here, and he hasn't done his 10 questions yet. And so this will be a good. So in addition to
You're gonna
preemptive
love
strikes,
this.
we do 10 rapid-fire questions for any noob to the show. You don't have to be a noob to the Steem blockchain. You just have to be a noob to the show. But Jiu-Jitsu was on last week, and he wasn't able to check in. And I told him if he came on today, he's got to do them.
I think he's asking for 50 questions. He keeps.
He's like 10, baby.
I think 10 will work. I think 10's fine.
All right, I'm just getting it set up here. You want me to do those
Go
before
big,
you
Henry,
get going, Joe?
do 50.
What's that, Gun Rogue?
You want me to do these before you get going on yours? All right, sweet. Flip them in then. All right, so Jiu-Jitsu. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Cool. So, oops, not share.
Is this a new music that goes along with the questions?
Like it.
Oh, no. But it'll work. We'll use it. Okay, so the idea is, hold on real quick.
Oh,
because
boy.
I can turn down the TV. Give me just a few seconds. Maybe don't. All right.
We should have like a something we say to fill the void of.
Cool. So quick questions and answers. So the idea is there's 10 completely random questions. We try and give like, a minute to answer all 10 questions. That'll average out to about 6 seconds a question. One answer per question, and answer each of them as fast and as honest as possible. All right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right on. So we'll move on to your slide here. Oops. Oh yeah, that is it. Shit. All right, we've got Jiu-Jitsu here, and this is your Steem name, correct?
Yeah, it's my Steam name.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we have Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu, you ready, my friend?
Yes, sure am. Thank you.
All right, let's do this. So first question, what is your favorite TV show?
I think Lost.
Lost. Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee for sure. Black.
Ah, interesting. What's your favorite dessert?
Definitely cheesecake.
Oh my God. Get strawberry?
Yes, any type of cheesecake.
Excellent. Are you a traveler or a homebody?
I am definitely a traveler. I quit my job and moved to Mexico, and I've been traveling all over the country this whole year.
Good for you, man. What is one thing you've completed off of a bucket list, if any?
Same thing, living in a foreign country.
Nice. Have you ever used a dream catcher?
No, but my girlfriend begged me to buy one this summer, so I have a feeling I'll be using one soon.
Nice. I feel like these might be repeats here. Oh no. Would you rather live in the ocean or on the moon?
Probably in the ocean. That's basically the outer space of Earth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, good perspective. Yeah. How many languages can you speak?
Only English. I'm working on Spanish, but I'm awful.
Duolingo, my friend. Get Duolingo.
Yeah, I've got Duolingo. I've got every app, every thing you can think of. It's just finding the time to do it. Man, you think if you quit your job and move to another country, you'll have time, but no, I'm just as busy as ever.
Yeah. All right, last 2 questions. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I think I'm both, as weird as that may sound. I love staying up late, but I also get up pretty early.
How early do you wake up?
Early. Sometimes as early as between 5, 6, or 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
Even if I'm up till midnight or 2 in the morning, a lot of times I'll be right back up.
There's a 7 a.m.?
Yeah. All right, last question. What would be one thing your dream house would have?
It has to be by the ocean. That's the main thing.
Excellent, excellent. Those are 10 questions, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
But yeah, I also do recommend Duolingo. That's how I learned most of the Japanese I know.
Yeah, I really need to study more. I thought it'd be easy, and I even got like Rosetta Stone, and I forget the other app. But man, it's really it's a time thing. You think you're gonna commit to something and sit down and study it, but when no one has a gun to your head, and Google Translate and having a girlfriend who's local that speaks English and Spanish has spoiled me. I mean, I'm like,
Right.
Yep, yep.
I'm fine without it.
That's funny.
Good stuff. Okay,
Yep.
so John, you're going to do your preemptives. I know Sean had asked us if we could share his preemptive. So I'll screen share. Whoever from the group can screen share his stuff whenever you're wrapping up.
Did Patrick say he had somebody watching that was waiting for the preemptive? Like, if
Yeah,
if
right.
you'd like, maybe we can get that to him real quick.
That's cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, totally.
Only messages I see on the chat are all seeing eye.
Patrick, are you here?
I am here.
Hi, Patrick.
I cannot get Chrome to work for some reason. It's not liking me very much.
Murphy's Law.
I dropped inside of the Telegram. If somebody wouldn't mind to pull that one up for me.
Telegram. That's
Anything
what
to
that
do
thing.
with chemical intake.
That might be it. No, for some reason it keeps crashing.
All right, yeah, it's not.
But I'm not sure if it's like something like interfering with it or what's causing it. But it's been frustrating me this whole time.
I don't think it likes Zoom. It gets real slow and yucky.
That I can agree with right now.
It's working. Whoever's doing it. Oh, Narashi.
So the one of the two that I pulled up for this week was for a tool called Steem Invite. I really wish I could get signed in because I was hoping I could sign into the back end, but it utilizes the new Hard Fork 20. So as some of you guys may know, in Hard Fork 20, they changed the way the rules actually work, so where you can actually create accounts just by utilizing your RCs, which are essentially kind of your bandwidth for how much you can use the Steem platform. And so there's starting to be some of these tools built, and one of them is Steem Invite, which we've slightly mentioned before back in the day when you could just pay for someone else's account. But they've actually adopted the ability to not only create an account using paid Steem, but you can use your RC credits now to both redeem within this and then also to pay to have your new buddy's account just by sending them a link to process with you.
That's really cool.
So basically, you can send someone this link, and that will take some of the resource credits and create a new account for them, basically.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, you would take your you would go to this link yourself, and then once you're on there, you can actually go through and set up the invitation for your buddy to sign up to Steem by using your resource credits. So they won't go here until they get the email from, I think it goes as an email. I'm not actually used to create one yet, but
I can chime in for a moment if that helps.
Please do. Hey, Fairism. Is Fairism how we say it?
I don't say it. I don't know.
Good. Then Fairism is how I say it.
The alt. Let's start there. The alt creation process for new accounts meant you needed to delegate something and pay a really small amount, which the other one got as Steam Power 2, to create a new account. That changed with the Hard Fork 20 and the RC system. we now have a two-step process. If you want to read that up after my explanation, if that hasn't been good enough, Steemit blog has a post about that. Account creation in Velocity. Velocity is in the post title for definitely that's the hard fork name. It's a two-step process. First step is you claim the right to create an account. That costs a shitload of RC or 3 Steem. Those 3 Steem would get burned if you chose to go that route. The shitload of RC is right now about 10 quadrillion, so you need something around 8,000 Steem power, I guess, to get the right for that at the moment. But it nearly doubled the price today with that app being introduced. So a lot of people played with it, and that drove the price higher. But you need a considerable investment or delegation to use the free account creation. If you claimed an account, that claim does not expire. You can use your RC to claim at any time if you have enough, and just collect claims without losing anything really, because if you have that much RC, you can't use it for posting and voting anyway, all of it. With those claims, which never expire, you have them forever, you can then create accounts, and the app helps you to create a link or send an email. Both options are there for to send to someone or to give to someone. They then choose their own username. They get their own password. Nobody else. You never have a password for them. You don't have to set it like with other services. They get their password. They have to write it down, and it gets explained a bit how all that works in the process. But yeah, you never know how good the people read. It has a few security measures, so they really write their password down. And when they are finished with that, you will receive an email again and actually have to create the account then by entering your active key. The key is not stored. That's why you have to come back. We cannot prepare the transaction somehow. You have to do it when the username and their new keys are known. And yeah, you can delegate something optionally, so they can transact a bit more than with the basic RC of which is worth like 3 Steem power at the moment. I don't know, last figure I heard was about 1 post a day or every 2 days, what you can do
Yeah,
with
1
that.
post a day and like 5 comments is what I understand.
Comments are posts, so you can group those somehow. Yeah, I'm not sure about the exact number, so it makes sense if it's a new user who is going to use the platform a bit, if you know that, or if it's probably something you know, then it makes sense to delegate a bit more to. Oh, that's about it.
That's cool. Thanks for coming on too and talking us through it.
Yeah, you definitely gave it a lot more of a better description than I was able to off my little rant there. It is definitely appreciated.
Yeah, future plans include delegation that is handled by other software as well, but it just fits in as you delegate something at the creation. It's nice to have the option to change that delegation or remove it in the same interface. And I also plan to introduce a tool to change your recovery account. Every account has a recovery account, which is actually the account which created it. For most users, Steem. So when you get hacked, your keys get changed by someone bad. You have a time window of 30 days where your recovery account can challenge the state of your account, and then you can use the old key or old password in these 30 days to recover your account and get it back from a hack. When you created a friend's account and he gets hacked, you need an interface to recover that. So I will add that.
Interesting. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. And you're a witness currently?
Yeah, I'm witness, have been witness.
How long have you been a witness?
Always.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Well, yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on and sharing that with us.
Yeah, I might toss a vote your way if I'm not voting for you yet. I'll go check it out now.
Anyone have any questions for him? What'd you say, Sean?
How many votes do you get? Witness votes.
Each person on the
30.
platform has 30.
I think you get 30. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm being way too conservative. I didn't know how many, but I knew it was limited, so I was like one or two here and there.
And you
like,
can always uncheck and check if you know
That shows how much I knew.
if your things change.
And it's not like Steam Power at all, where you have a power down period. Your votes there, as long as you're voting, they go. If you pulled it off one person, went to the other, they'd immediately get those same votes, just like that too.
Boom. Done.
Right. Yeah, I voted on it too.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yep.
Right
Thank
on,
you.
Ferrism. Appreciate that, man. What else you have?
Patrick.
The other one I have, let me pull it up. I hadn't pulled it up to send to you, but I'll get it real quick. It's actually, you can probably find it because it's going to be the #1 trending post on pretty much any Steam post. And so it's not so much for the tech side what grabbed my interest here, but more so for the discussion piece on what this post turns into.
Is your Chrome working yet?
Now I'm still fighting those devils.
Who's the author?
It is.
Do you have Discord open? That might help if you're to close that. Maybe.
I do have Discord open. Let's see if I can get rid of that.
And as many windows as possible that you can close.
I'm just going to go back to try and get this to you guys through the phone. If anybody else wants to go ahead with theirs while I'm trying to get this link out, you're more than welcome, and then I'll jump in as soon as we're able to get this.
Okay. I'll go ahead and bring mine up.
Okay.
I'm having the same lag shit issues with Chrome. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm still going to bring mine up because it should load. All right, got them. My audience can see them now. Let's just bring them up so you guys can.
You guys are also utilizing Brave browser, correct?
No. The
No.
Brave browser?
Yes, Brave browser.
You use the Brave browser?
I don't have
I
any
use the Brave
basic.
browser.
I don't
You're
have
the
any basic
man.
attention tokens.
That's dedication.
It is.
Serious.
So
Yeah.
The
my
revolution.
Are you using Brave browser in Arashi?
I do, but only because of this guy.
Cool.
It's a quality browser.
Oh, wait. Are you guys a couple?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
There we go. Now we're getting
Aw.
So my first one is this: Steam It needs more exchanges. I'll be in, and you can help. I like this just because I like the approach towards calling out the question or calling into question. But I'd be interested to see people who are on the call, including a witness who is here, and everyone else's reaction to kind of what the post is talking about. It says, "Do you want Steam and SBD on more exchanges? You can support our effort without any experience whatsoever and no cost to you. All we do is convince a witness to do the work for us. The witnesses need witness votes to elect them in the top positions, which cost you nothing. Just promise to use a witness vote for the witness that gets the job done." And so he talks a little bit about what witness votes are, how many everyone gets. Will using a witness vote reduce my voting power? No. How long does it take to regenerate witness votes? It says there's no regeneration. Everyone has 30 witness votes. And so it says combined we have 457 million vests to vote on a witness, and it just lists all the people that have already signed up and committed to vote for the person. Then it goes down a little bit further. I'm going to do it manually because it's not scrolling. Goes through that whole list, and then it says, to get a vote for witness, here's what they need to do. Get SBD or Steem listed on a major exchange. Provide proof that you were instrumental in the exchange listing. And then please leave a comment below, and it'll get you on. And then there's mine. But then there was I think it started. Someone already said that Steem is listed on a lot of exchanges. I thought I saw that, and then it must be gone. So I don't know what happened to it. So 2 questions then that it brings up. One is, what do you guys think of the post? And 2, is Steem not or SBD not listed on enough exchanges?
I think it's on most of the major exchanges. I wouldn't.
Is it?
Yeah, I know it's on Binance for sure. If it's on Binance, it's probably on Bittrex. If it's on Bittrex, it's totally on Poloniex. If it's on, I mean, just those top 3. The only one that would be missing is the fiat ramp, and that would be Coinbase. So I don't know if listing it on any more exchanges would be beneficial for Steem per se, because they would be smaller exchanges. So I mean, I don't know. I don't see it as too much of an issue, but that's just my opinion.
I'd like to see it on Coinbase, and I'd like to be able to see more opportunities to be able to buy it with a credit card. Or and any Coinbase opportunities. Can you buy Steem currently with a credit card? Patrick might know that.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I know of any place that you can.
I'd definitely like to know if there is a place where you could buy Steem directly with USD. That's actually something I asked Eric about, and he doesn't know. He actually told me, basically asked Patrick.
Although I don't usually deal too much in fiat to crypto as much, but my favorite way is through BitShares, taking a sister delegated proof of stake chain and utilizing it to move over.
That's interesting. See, that's why I bring stuff to you guys. You always give me different perspectives on things.
What would be your recommended way to get that exactly?
So usually what I'll do is send Bitcoin to directly to BitShares, and then either that, or if I'm in more of a rush and I just want it, I'll use block trades for their convenience. But usually I like to go, my favorite's just to go through BitShares, especially if I want to play around at all with the markets and kind of jump in there.
Okay, cool. So more. I agree with the on ramp of, or having a bridge to fiat, or being able to buy that with credit cards. So that would be a reason to get it on Coinbase, or even Gemini or something like that.
My guess is you'd be crazy not to go ahead and put a blurb like this up on your website or platform, because it's right there. There are no barriers to entry. There are no gatekeepers. It's just a matter about creating the post, because you don't really know. Kind of like you guys, I'm always pleasantly surprised after we have these chats. I've learned something, and you guys are involved in different ways than I am, slightly. And like Gone Rogue said earlier, you have different perspectives and you have different interests. So, if you look at the lean business model, the thing about that is keep waste to a minimum, You'd be crazy not to try your own platform. Cast that wide net, grab the low hanging fruit, as it were. I don't know whether the million people on Steem It can be helpful, or even if just a few of those million people that might see my post might be powerful, and get the right word to the right person at that key exchange you're looking to get on.
What
Go
about SBD? He lists as SBD. I know we've all had the discussion before about why it exists and all that kind of stuff. What about getting SBD listed?
The more the merrier. There's no downside to this post.
I mean, we could ultimately get SBD listed. If that ends up getting listed first, that could be converted to Steem, and then.
Yep. Anyone else?
I'm not a Steem fanboy. I'm not a Steem It fanboy. I'm not an SBD fanboy. I want to see the best stuff win.
Well, I'm more interested of like trying to get USD to Steem directly, so I can then put it into Steem Power and.
Yeah, that conversion, that portability, yeah, and the access. There you go. That's what matters.
Cool. Good discussion. If no one has anything else, I'm going on to the next one. As soon as my browser loads. Not Brave browser. I'm going to skip over that one. I want to go. So Pensive had me on. This was my first MSP Waves radio show that I was on. It was a really interesting show. He had some great questions about the future of live streaming and live radio kind of on the space, on Steem, and if it works or not. And it was really good. It was a good show. But so then he asked to hear more about what we were doing. And I don't know if you guys ever read this, but I did a post when I first started called, like, what I do. I refer to it as social broadcasting. So what we're doing right now, opening up a video space, broadcasting it live, inviting anyone who wants to come on.
I like it.
And so that actually, like, a couple people keyed in on that word, and so he included it. But we are included on Pensif's show schedule for Steem Radio. So I just wanted you guys all to see that. And so there you go. There's the Steeming Pile on there. And then he put Morning Coins with John and Chaz on there too. So I was definitely happy for that. But he called the channel the Steeming Pile. So I messaged him and told him the channel was vim.tv and the name of the shows. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
I'll be doing a post about that and just getting some of the recording for you guys if you want to look at it. I did re-steam it when it came out as well.
So he just puts anyone that has a show on there, or like what's the process with that? Because
I think you have to reach out to him, or you have to like just I went on I just listened to a couple of his shows that he does on MSP, and then he puts down. You can see here he has his Discord. You can contact him via Discord as well.
So I should hit him up and try seeing to get if Totally Just Hell could be listed on there.
You should get his reactions to Totally Just Hell. Go on one of his shows and see. Run it by him. That's what I would do.
Let's see.
And then go ahead.
Do it now, but it's someone else's.
Right. And then my last one is a fun one, and it was concerning Steem Basic Income. So if it's fun and it has to do with Steem Basic Income, then I'm going to do it. And so if you guys all want to participate, you can. It's called the Steem Basic Income Giveaway, and it is Focus Fit. And what he does was, this is his round 3 of a Marvel superhero elimination game. So it says currently there's 1.36 SBD generated from the first 2 posts, meaning that 1 SBI to be distributed guaranteed. And what they do, or what he does is he puts up this picture each day, and then in the comments section, he adds each person, and so then you vote for the one that you like the least, and then the one with the most votes for the least is the one that gets eliminated. And then he takes whatever is curated or created from those votes and puts it into an ongoing pool. And I voted for oh, that must be a new one. I voted for Doctor Strange. And there's my preemptive strike. So I would be interested to see which superhero do you guys like the least on here, and which ones would you vote for?
What's the name of the post?
It is, the poster is Focus Fit, and it's Steam Basic Income Giveaway Elimination Game.
I vote for the dude from The Office. Or is that not The Office? That's the Community. Shit. Now I'm sounding like an idiot. I'm trying to remember. Up the right to the left of the X. What show was he in? Parks and Rec.
This guy?
Yeah.
The guy
Isn't
from
that the Parks and Rec
Guardians
guy?
of the Galaxy?
Yeah, isn't that Parks and Rec?
I don't know.
That, the goofy one.
Oh, that is Parks and Rec, but
Is
what
he?
is his name? I forget who that is.
It's the guy from Parks and Rec.
I mean, on here it's
Yeah.
Star-Lord.
It looks like Chris Pratt. I have no idea.
Chris
who it is.
Pratt.
Yes,
That is
that's
who
his
it
name.
is.
It. Yeah.
That is him, yep.
Nice name drop. I
Does
vote
anyone
him.
like
You
Big
don't
Groot?
like?
I like Groot.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, Big Groot, not Little Groot. Little Groot's cute as.
No,
Yeah.
I like Big Groot better than I like Little Groot.
Okay. I don't like any Groots, but of the two. You know what I like? I like the unique approach that the guy
Let's get rid of Groot.
taken.
I'm not a fan of Thor. I'm sorry, you guys. If there are any Thor fans out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get rid of Spider-Man because I feel like he's
I wanted to get rid of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
too.
that's a good
cliche
one.
as fuck.
Yeah.
That's
the worst.
personally my favorite. Well, not Tom Holland's. I'm more like the OG Tobey Maguire.
My a commenter in my chat says Hulk.
Get rid of Hulk.
You guys have to
Hulk is
go.
another
You guys
good
have to
one.
go there. It's help Steam Basic Income, so go and vote for the ones that you like the least.
All right, let's do this.
That's what I got.
I'm already doing that.
Go, go, go. Let's do a bump. The Steeming Pile bump. We got to get rid of at least one of these superheroes. Does anyone know who this one is with the red lines through already? He must already
That's the
be out.
Vision. I love the Vision.
Do you?
Maybe my favorite superhero of all time.
Really?
Vision's badass. Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid
Well,
of
he's
stuff.
gone. No one likes him.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm not your crowd pleaser. Bye, Vision.
Bye, Vision.
I'll miss you.
See ya, brother. All right. Is Patrick back yet? Does he have a working browser? Did he
This is where
download
I
the?
rage quit.
Did you download the Brave browser and
That's where
I
emo
have
quit.
Brave.
buy some
downloaded,
basic attention tokens and?
but my problem is I'm not signed into it, and
Oh, I can't like anything more. RIP my RC.
Dang, dang.
essentially the point of my last preemptive. It's for it's on Joe Paris, and he does a post that he's kind of detailing a video on how he was able to gain the following that he has on Steam, and it's kind of details in it. He talks about his course that he sells. He also goes on to talk a little bit about using bid bots to increase his reputation. But the post has kind of created a conversation from what I've seen with other users, because Joe Paris actually owns a bid bot. So there feels there's a little disinterest there in that he's having you do that. But I'm not really against the hustle of the guy on that. But I think it's an interesting conversation about how much is too much bid bots. Because if we're using bid bots as a tool to promote posts, do you guys feel that it gets too much if you take a bid bot to levels that it's nearly double any other highest post? It's already past that point of being number one on trending, to where you're just taking away from the rewards pool at a certain level.
Did anyone else read this post? Has anyone watched that video? Because I have.
I have not.
Yeah,
I
I
have
was.
there.
And you know, here's my thing: is I spent some time in college. I've had a teacher or two. You know, the ones that just go with the textbook, and you walk in their office, and there's everything everywhere, and like it's just. You know, I want somebody fresh out of the field. I want somebody who's enhancing or augmenting the material. And I felt like his video was so basic. Anyone could spend a little bit of time on Steam it and figure it out within 3 to 5 days, if not a week tops. You know, so that's the content. That's my sort of assessment of the content. We know I'm a little bit pessimistic and cynical. So having said that, I went and looked on Clean Trending, and boy, he's heading up the list as far as people that have been upvoted by bots. So, you know, it seems to me a bit hypocritical, you know, telling the new guy this is what you do to become successful, all the while using a completely different tactic that only really he has this sort of a ability to use. Fuck that guy.
Nice. I like the raw ESP.
Does anyone want to read any of the comments from our Zoom chat? So we're getting an interesting element from today's show is that there are some people on here that aren't necessarily talking live, but the chat in here is cool. And if
No,
you
it's a bit off topic, but is there any physical way to actually see what the RC is?
That's a good question. Someone put in chat the answer.
Oh, you mean how much your RC you have? Or,
yeah.
I always use Steam D.
Oh, Steam D, that's
yeah,
right.
Steam World's also a great tool.
And then,
but I usually just use steamd.com /
That's that thing I reference all the time. The Clean Trending post on steamwells.com.
And then also across of all of our simulcasts, the 4 simulcasts that we have going on, there are about 10 people watching. So that's awesome too. Let's hear some of or bring in some of their comments as well regarding bid bots and their usage.
So his video wasn't that bad. I mean, if you didn't know, if you were brand new here, it would be helpful. And you know, he was honest. He didn't make it out to be any better or worse than it is. But I just felt like it was hypocritical for him to be saying that this is how you should approach it, all the while using a different approach entirely that most people can't. Yeah, I'm repeating myself.
Now, who was this that wrote that?
Little Joey Parrish. I like the one when I first came on Steam about 6 or 8 months ago, and he had this one that was like, "Who is your Steam crush?" I knew at that point I'm like, cringe. Not a fan. Who's your Steam crush, Joe?
But you know, he had two different posts, 2 different videos.
Right.
And one was like the follow up after he originally on the first video had encouraged newbies to use the bid bots. He was telling people, hey, if you're new here, use the bid bots to help push your content up while you're new. And of course, a lot of people gave him a lot of negative feedback in the comments. I'm looking for that original because I'm not sure. Are the one we're looking at now, is this the second video, the follow up, or the original video like a day or 2 prior?
Well, and another thing that he points out is he kind of untangles this for people that are new, and that he points out that he has a linked video to a YouTube video, and he has another linked video to a DTube video. And this you wouldn't be able to readily figure out. And he says that when the nice DTube people give it their hefty upvote, it's worth considerably more. Whereas the one that's linked on YouTube is not going to benefit from that sort of upvote. It can't because it's not on DTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, DTube's on the Steem blockchain. So, you know, little stuff like that is helpful, and you wouldn't get that from somewhere else. So, this model of promotion is a joke. Thank you. I'm trying to refrain from telling people to kill themselves on the internet. I've been advised that I shouldn't do that. It's
probably not the wisest.
It's harsh. It's bullying. Trying to refrain from telling people to kill themselves on the internet. I've been advised that I shouldn't do that.
By you.
It's
probably not.
All right, what else do we have? Do we
I was gonna ask Patrick. Is he done?
Yeah, that's my 2 that I have for the week.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Someone doing Sean's?
Hey Sean, are you still on, dude? Did you send over your preemptives, or should I just head over to your? I guess I should just head over to your page.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, there you go.
So.
Well, it's been real, guys. Another good. No, is that it for preemptive strikes then?
I think so. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to talk about. I dug into D-like a little bit last couple days.
Good shit. Yeah,
please,
absolutely.
Please do.
So originally, what I want to do was a dap a day and then do it daily. Have like 3 of them ready to go, and then once I started posting them, posted every day for a week. But I figured that might have been a little rushed. I wanted to do everything justice. So what I'm doing now is I'll have a DAP that I look, have a DAP that I look into, and then I'll go on Stream. I'll go to their website. Pretty much, not all the DAPs. It's going to be a first look at it, but I'm not very well versed on a lot of them. So I start my stream. I go to the website. I check out their Discord. I check out their introductory post. Try to fully understand what's going on and what they're doing, and get a real reaction to what I'm seeing. So I'm thinking perhaps people in the team might want to watch it and get an idea of just some person checking it out, what they think of the website, what they think of what was said. I would hope that would be valuable, and for the people doing it, as well as the people that have never heard about it or maybe only kind of heard about it. So I did it for D-like. I wrapped it up in about 45 minutes. I think it had a lot of decent information. So I went through the introductory post, went through the information they had on their Discord, and went to the website. So what I found there is, I know we've talked about it before when we had them on, but I figured that might be a little valuable to kind of get my take on it after digging into it. The immediate, well, just as an introduction for anybody that's not is not very familiar with it, you're basically just sharing links to other platforms, interesting links. And in the introduction post, there's definitely some constructive criticism or criticism in general of what it is, as far as bringing people away from Steem to look at something else, being able to just take a link and just post it. And it's like, we already have that. So one of the criticism also was, is this plagiarism? And D-like defends it that it's not plagiarism because they're not identifying it as their content. They're just directing links over there. For me, going into it, I kind of knew the community that I was going to run into there. I kind of knew the general behavior, what was going to go on there. That being said, I found some pretty cool links that were actually interesting, links that I wouldn't have found normally. But I looked into it. They have roughly, I want to say 28,000 delegated. They give out upvotes based on a score, based on the number of followers you have. I'd like to see a UA score tied to a UA score there. That might be a little more beneficial, because we all know you can game the followers if you want. So it definitely encourages people to try to gain fake followers, in my opinion, because how much you get in an upvote all comes into the scores. So number of followers, your rep, the engagement that you have, your posts on D-like, your comments on D-like. 70% of the upvotes are reserved for comments, while as 30% are reserved for the posts. So you can see where they're really trying to increase engagement. They also have a leaderboard for points for engagement and all that. Do I really need to say what that all leads to? What kind of environment you're fostering there? You're fostering people. A maximum, I believe it was a maximum payout of 5 posts per person per day, and a maximum payout from D-like of 10 comments per day. So what anybody's going to do that is really encouraged by an upvote, they're going to be motivated to get as many followers as they can, post 5 random links a day, and comment 10 random times. Now, there are manual curators upvoting this. So if you're just having a generic response, they're not going to upvote it. But it really doesn't take that much effort to identify what the post is about and then just make some ridiculous sentence long comment. So the average person I'd click on and they'd have 3, 4, or 5 posts. The person that's leading in points literally has a comment on every single D-like post. Every single one I ran to, that person made a comment on it. So I feel it has its time and place. I think that, as I said in the recap, in the replay and the transcript, is you're fostering that kind of environment. You know what you're getting, but you're kind of taking everything that people dislike about Steem in general, like the things that kind of irk all of us, other than the plagiarism, the kind of behavior, the upvote seeking behavior. You're kind of taking all those people and putting them over there. It's like, all right, no, don't do this here on Steem. Do this over on D-like. Do that over there. Not here, there. So I think for that reason, I think it has some value. And then certainly there's usage. Like I said, I found some links that I thought were pretty interesting. And so it was kind of cool checking it out. As I said in the replay, I probably won't post there a whole lot, but if I do find a link that I feel is worthy, I will post it. You're not going to see me posting 5 times a day. I don't want to water down my content. I feel that utilizing that would water down my content. The only way that I can see that working is if I made a separate account specifically for either D-like specifically or just anything, just any of the dApps. Posting the Steem Hunt ActiveFit, if I want to have like a repository for the dApps, I might do that. But as far as D-like, I don't see myself using it a whole lot. Maybe once a week. I don't see myself using it much more than that. And kind of a time and place thing, like, hey, if you want to use that, go ahead. But I don't feel that if somebody posts on that 5 times a day, I'm going to be inclined to give them a follow. But. And then also just a real quick, one of my small little like graphic issues that I had with it was just there's 2 views. There's a grid view that's a lot like Pinterest, and then there's a list view. The list view pretty much just shows the thumbnail, the title, and a little bit of information from the article. And then when you click on it, it has like 2 lines of text from the article. So I would like to see regardless, whatever the title is, I would like to see the full title in the list view. And then I would like to see 3 lines of text from the article at least. And it's kind of, I want more information if I'm going to click on something. But other than that, I mean, it's a smooth website. The website does look good. You can earn, I think it's D-like tokens, D-worth tokens, something of that nature. They took the Steem Hunt user score model and tweaked it for D-like. So, I mean, I don't think it's for everybody, but, maybe if you see some people shit posting, be like, hey, maybe this would be better over on D-like. Just saying.
Great strategy. I think that's a great strategy. And I just want to say the setup of your post and your concept for this is awesome. And the way that you're doing, I like how you're incorporating the timestamp breakdown of your vids, and it's really like a well thought out post. I haven't looked at the recording of it yet, but I can tell just by looking at the thumbnail of the recording that this is definitely something that is like conceptually worth doing. It's really cool. And
that means a lot that you'd say that, because it's kind of been stewing in my brain for a little while. And like I said, rather than doing 1 a day, I'm going to do it as I have time, as I can do it justice.
Right.
And make sure that what I'm putting out has some content. And you can use SteamPeak to do benefactors. So whatever dApp I'm reviewing, I'm making them a 10% benefactor as well. And then also I put Vim as an additional 5% benefactor because I originally streamed it on Vim and I want to help support what they're doing over there.
So, and I got to add to that here, what Mr. Spalding said. It's great.
Yeah.
Format, approach. Yeah. Concept, execution. Hell yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty proud. I think I actually had somebody, Kaliju, actually commented. He goes, hey, can we submit things for your review? I never even thought of that.
Right.
If somebody wants to, get my honest opinion, and in a way, I'm also promoting them, good or bad. I'm still promoting them, and I'm talking about them, creating a buzz. I'm getting engagement, and I'm getting engagement both on the stream and in the replay. You know, so I think it's you know, when the people are in there commenting, I'm getting real reactions from them as I'm going through it too. So when they watch the replay, they can see the comments that people are making while I'm streaming too. So I think all around, I'm pretty proud of it. And you know, let's see where it goes. Eventually, I'm going to run out of dApps to do. So maybe at that point, I'll start looking into you know, just I did Steam Peak, and literally later that evening, they did an update. So it's like, I got to do another one, you know, like instantly the same day. I'm like, I got to do another one. So
things keep changing.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
good stuff. Now, so yeah, dig the concept. I haven't actually checked out your video on that at all. But dude, I've always been a fan of reviews, just in general. And if you're gonna be doing that, I would probably start messing around with like different aspects of what make up a dApp, right? Like user experience or intuitiveness. What are the pros, cons? Like start giving them ratings on different, you know, things that make up a dApp, and, you know, kind of summarize it. I haven't checked the video format, so I just, you know, from other reviews and shit that I've read and stuff, just an overall rating on something would be pretty cool.
okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Have like an ultimate, like, you know, 2 thumbs up or you know, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah. And I think, dude, most people appreciate honest feedback, and they'll either just say, hey, that's just part of the way it's been built and can't fix it, or they'll fucking fix something if, you know, the rest of the community agrees on something like that. But I think honest feedback is important. There's a lot of biasness when it comes to shit out there. And, you know, at least from what I've been able to tell with you, you would give an unbiased perspective on something.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And the rest of the story is the old saying, controversy sells. So even if you don't give them a seller review, somebody listens to what you have to say, and they go see if they like it or not. And this might be someone that's never heard of it before. So, I mean, you know, and then if their experience is different than yours, then you sent them a new user. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Controversy sells. That has some value. I mean, look at our political climate these days.
And
somebody in my chat from Twitch asked if I got Mark Zuckerberg in the upper right corner, which would be Patrick.
Dude, that's the second time you've been referenced as Mark Zuckerberg, I think.
And then the person said they said that would be Mark Zuckerberg if he never made Facebook and saw some shit. Thanks, Dan, for coming by. Thanks. Everybody's loving it. Thank you. As far as what you're saying, like that's awesome. One thing I wanted to do is welcome the developers to maybe get a little pissed off or take offense at something I say, and then address it, and then say, you know, that's actually something we're working on, or that's a good point, or, you know, just hell, even be offended. I don't care. Just say because I'm talking about your platform. Exactly. I was hoping somebody from D-Like would come in and say something, and they didn't. So
yeah, you're taking the conversation to the next level, which is exactly what we need to be doing in politics too.
Yes.
And not just looking at the at the surface level shit. But yeah, absolutely. Good shit.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing it grow. So you never know.
Speaking of politics, guys, just for anyone who's watching on anyone's stream, we're going to be doing a politics show on Election Day. It's going to be a Steeming Pile politics show, and we're all very interested to see what that looks like. The week before,
Steeming Pile politics show, that's kind of redundant because politics in general is Steeming Pile. But we'll say Sahara Desert. We'll go for that redundancy.
Wait, what's redundant?
Politics in the Steeming Pile, man.
Politics is the Steeming Pile.
Oh, no, I'm not saying your show. I'm not saying
the
show is a pile of shit. I'm saying politics is a steaming pile. Let's clarify. I'm very, very proud.
Buy
Wait.
Bitcoin.
Wait. Now I'm very confused. Anyway, we're doing election night focused session.
Gonna got it.
Oh, I get it. I think. We're also having the Oracle D folks on, but we might have to look for them in November. We also might look for them next week.
Yeah, they're very
Wow.
excited about working with streaming and things of that nature and helping promote Vim because they think that bring more value to the clients. I really sold him on the idea. I don't know how much he bought it, but I really tried selling him on the idea how streaming is the most genuine and organic engagement that you're going to find on the Steem blockchain. I feel very strongly about that.
And I saw some people mention Steam Hunt in here. Did anyone see their? Have you reviewed them, Eric, or are you gonna?
I looked into Steem.
Oh, I'm definitely going to. Definitely.
Okay.
I like Steem Hunt.
And
I delegate to them.
Did anyone see their their post that they did from a couple days ago that said focus on company-wide Steam value stream and scalable DApp experiences?
I think you should have
I
the
missed
Steam
that.
Hunt people on here. I have a bazillion questions for them. In fact, and this is okay. It raised more questions for me than it did answers, their post. And I went and looked at the Steam Hunt website.
So you saw the post that's what you're referencing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
And I went and looked at the Steam Hunt website and I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say as far as, hold on. I've got that thing somewhere here. Focus on, I couldn't figure out the distinction they were trying to make between company-wide Steam value and what I didn't quite understand their post. So I just went and checked out their website and I didn't understand the value of the blockchain on their website. It looked to me like a sort of a directory of sorts that points you towards other endpoints. In other words, if you go look at their site, you'll see listings for things and you'll see upvotes. And here's a link to a thing that you can buy at such and such price, which is not to say that that widget can't be bought in a number of other places on the web. I didn't understand where the blockchain was. And this is always my concern is where's a company offering real and better still unique utility at a good price point? Whereas where's a company trying to do something that I can't figure out what it is they're trying to do. I can't figure out where the value is in it. And I suspect it's largely hype. So I'll let you guys think about those things if you decide to go check out those posts. That's just me off the top of my head in terms of my ideas as I was looking at their post. Yeah, get the Steam Hunt people on here. I have a million questions for them.
There we go.
There
Or
you
get
go.
them on Eric's show and ours if we
Heck
can,
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
if we can
double dip.
coordinate it.
Well, and the deal
That'd be
is
cool, actually. That'd be really cool.
right. And the deal is if I'm wrong and, and it's easy to criticize things and it's hard to come up with solutions. And, if I'm just misinterpreting certain key things and they set you guys straight and we all, I scratch my head and I go, oh, that's cool. Then better still. But yeah, get them on.
For me, I personally find value because I never considered myself necessarily a techie guy, but I do have an interest in science and inventions and innovative stuff. The one that still sticks out to me is the fanless umbrella, to where it uses wind to blow rain away from you. And it's stuff that in my normal day I'm not going to run across reading about, but somebody presents it as interesting and a bunch of other people say, hey, that is interesting. And the things get in the top 10 and then you see the daily top 10. I always go through the daily top 10 for Steem Hunt. I think I find probably 4 out of the 10 things extremely fascinating. So that has value to me. I don't use it as much as I'd like to. I always look at the top 10. And occasionally I drop in and upvote some innovative stuff and whatnot.
And here's their site. And one of the things that I wondered about was their roadmap, because they have this thing called Review Hunt, and then they have another component called Idea Hunt. And these things all fit together in a certain way, but I couldn't understand the timeline there. So yeah, I'm glad you found value in it. I'm just trying to understand it better.
Now, Pat, was it Steam Hunt? You said that the DApp as compared to the off blockchain competitor, the Steam Hunt is actually used more than the off chain competitor, and that's
Yep.
the first DApp to do so. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. That's an excellent point because they actually, so Product Hunt is their biggest competitor, the most mainstream version of somebody else. And there are now more products being listed on Steam Hunt than what products can even hit with in the same day. So it's being more utilized because theoretically, because they're getting rewarded with both Steam and Hunt tokens, which look like they may actually have some decent value to them. I mean, obviously not financial advice or anything along those lines, but I think that Hunt tokens could be very interesting once SMT come to a fruition.
And yeah, let's see if we can get them on, Patrick. Either maybe when Oracle D comes back on, we can do another SMT check-in or something like that, or we can schedule with you, Eric, if we're able to get him to come on Eric's interview show that day or something like that, and roll right into the Steeming Pile.
If we work that out, I think that'd be great. I think it's going to be to the point where anybody that's trying to promote something on the blockchain would be stupid not to come on these shows. Just the environment that we foster, I think it's an incredible opportunity for people to promote their product, educate people. We're getting to the point where, you know, there's a decent amount of people that tune in every week for either show. And as much as you guys may not like it, I do multi-stream to 2 other platforms that
We love it.
occasionally get people into. You know what I mean?
We love it.
I'm
It's cool.
shameless.
Actually, let's just say we
someone else's stream.
And then we'll just say that we love that you do it, Eric. How about that? And so we're happy that you keep getting those
I do it so you don't
tokens.
have
That
to. I take it for you guys.
That's like a banner. That's like a little yellow ninja banner that I see in your future. Paul Caraway just joined us. Now, Paul, if you can hear us and you're able to talk, come on in and say hi. Paul was on Vim, and he just was. I know that he has a show and was looking to get some Vim kind of like help or just kind of talk about his show on there. So I invited him to come on. So if you're able
Speaking
to
of
say
promotion, that's awesome.
hi. And Sharon is here too, so he can answer some questions too. Well, if it's Vim specific.
Hi guys, this is Paul, and yeah, I do a show on Wednesdays at 7:00 Central Time. Mine show is on entertainment, so it's a little different than what you guys are talking about in here. Hi Patrick, hi Eric, hi everybody else across the board. Hope you all are doing great. I guess I've pushed my computer a little bit too much the last couple of days. I don't have any video working, but I do have my audio, so that's a good thing. But make sure and stop by and say hi. And, you know, if you're into the entertainment industry, that would be awesome. Even if you're not, still say hi.
Have you done any Vim streams yet, Paul?
Yes, I have. I've done a couple. Actually, I did a test one the other day for the radio station, kgvrgrapevine.com, just to test it, see if it would go across. And yeah, I was able to push it out as well.
Good deal.
It's a little different than that other platform, but I think Vim has got a good opportunity here, and I think we're going to be able to really see some cool things coming from it. So,
agreed.
When you say entertainment, what exactly are you going to be digging into?
Well, I have guests on that are directors, producers, actors, actresses, both short film, feature film, television, voiceover actors, those kind of things.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, John?
No.
Top films?
Oh, definitely top films. I was thinking that. You're right.
And Distant Signal on Steam, he makes He is
I've already
high.
contacted him.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who Distant Signal is, follow him. Check out his work. He released a short film just over a week ago. I saw him streaming, and he was just working on editing and kind of talking about it and talk high quality stuff. So if you support good content here, check him out for sure.
Are you
Yeah,
at Paul Caraway on Steem It?
I'm sorry?
Or is that you at Paul Caraway on
Yes,
Steem
it is.
It's okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Could you
My
smack
pleasure.
that link in there, ESP, in the
I'll
chat?
do it. Yeah, you bet. No problem.
Cool. And then, yeah, there's a great chat going on in Zoom. I want everyone in Zoom to kind of know that I get that chat, so I'll make it available to you guys on Discord if you want it. 'Cause there's good links and stuff like that in there.
Should be. Ought to be.
And then for those of you who simulcast and or do summaries of shows, you can also have access to that chat and put those links in your posts.
There he is.
As I just put in there, I am mirroring Eric's stream because I don't have the Vim, or well, not the Vim, the Zoom thing on my computer. I'm
Gotcha.
using it from my phone.
So I didn't have the preemptive crap ready to earlier, but I think I got some bookmarks lined up. Can I try that?
As long as you don't call it crap.
I mean the preemptive stuff.
We should call it preemptive crap because this is the Steeming Pile.
There you go. The crap goes
Preemptive
with the
pile.
pile. Pile and crap. They go together. Let me see if I can get this thing to work where I
Preemptive shit.
No, your stuff is preemptive coolness. My stuff is preemptive. Hold on one second. Share something somewhere. Over the rainbow. Stop video.
And Eric, I've known John Olson for quite a few years. So
select the camera.
John G. Olson?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was literally on his very first stream. That's pretty cool. We've been fast friends ever since.
Very cool. Very cool. I've got somebody else messaging me as well, so I can't do three things at once.
Even two can be difficult.
Yes.
Record? Do I click the record thing, you guys?
No. I mean, if you want to record us,
We go through this every time. How do I
you
toggle
click the
to
green button, the share.
Oh, the
thing.
share button right in the middle, the one that's green. All right, we can do this. I got this. Hold on. And then everything turns black all of a sudden. Share computer sound, optimize for full screen video clip, hide porn tabs.
All right, you're good. We got you.
So you can see it?
Yep, we see
Okay.
the Atlantic. in
So
Atlanta.
yeah, so what I happen to have open here is a number of tabs. So I'm just going to go through them. Is that okay?
You're already doing it.
This is just stuff that I'm into lately. There's that roadmap on steamhunt.com. And this is the part I didn't quite understand is here is where the review hunt comes in, which I think ought to underpin the other part of the hunt. So that's a question that I would have.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited about that. I remember running into it at one point. They for doing reviews for reviewing popular products and things of that nature, I believe.
Right, that's what I'm more interested in is like, not just an up or a down or where it fits in a system of commerce, but what people have. It's kind of like the immediacy of this form of communication where we chat with each other. What do people have to say about it? So that's my take on that.
Well,
here's some
I
guy
think
named.
eventually, sorry, I think eventually, Eric's Dapper Day show could be on the Review Hunt network or on Review Hunt, or it could be
absolutely.
sponsored by Review Hunt.
Absolutely, I love it. Yeah. So that Eric guy, this is him. Hi, Eric. That guy right there.
I like that guy.
Hey, that's
here's
me.
This thing, clean trending, which I refer to again and again and again.
Oh boy,
So
here
I
we
mentioned
go.
this-
Let's see. Who are the
I
culprits?
mentioned this last week. I got to mention it again. This is one of the first places I go when you go to look at the trending section, or I believe the hot sections as well, on Steem It. And then if you go to this site and reference it, it's steamwhales.com clean-trending. This will tell you what percentage of the votes they're getting from bots. So that's interesting. It's fascinating to me.
Can you basket flag that? Is that what that was?
I don't know what that was. Basket flag.
As far as
you can absolutely
check on it and downvote all of it.
Well, when I go to load the page, it's a beautiful tool, with some real utility. When I go to load the page, I always type in null here. That's just me. And Hyman Danger built this. There's another guy you guys ought to interview.
I love the way that's worded. Downvote this trash.
There's another guy you should talk to, Hyman Danger. But anyway, this is a great resource, I feel. And yes, you can, at the top, click downvote the trash. And there's some more details there. You can go check out Hyman Danger's post in regards to this thing that he put together. Beautiful tool. So I have to mention that again because I just go to it all the time. Here's some group of yahoos gets together Tuesday nights. Oh, this reminds me. I'd like to have a better image of open image in new tab. I'd like to have something like that I could repost on my things. That's pretty good. I could make it bigger. You guys got a bigger image of that?
Yeah. I've got all of those, so I can send you either transparent or if you want a background. I also have different versions. I have white ones if you are looking to put it on a black background, etc.
I'll bug you more about that, but I'd like to see some more images and logos so that we can use them, the people that are involved in here on our respective posts.
Narashi, I use a more of a black theme, so if you can find something that I can put on a black background, that'd be awesome.
I think that one was clear.
I just pulled the logo off of the Steeming Pile Steeming account, so
when I try to do that, it looks funny with a black background. It's not very it's hard to read.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
one I used.
Do you guys have access to the drive by any chance?
No, I was just gonna say on our Discord, on the Streamer 24-hour Discord, if you put a Gmail address in there, we can share it with you. If you don't
we'll figure it out. Just pass around some
use
logos. That's all I'm saying.
Just kind of let us know.
Witness update. What I'm doing as a witness lately. Steam Hunt Witness. A million more questions for that. Oh, look, it's our friend again. Who's this person? My favorite writer of all time, CHB Artist. Go read one of his posts.
That guy actually has some really awesome posts. I like him as well.
I'm kidding. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't like him. I'm not a fan.
Fight.
Right. We have to agree on everything all the time. This guy is a great writer. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. And he wrote 2 books. One was called Sapiens and the other one was called Homo Deus. And he has a new book as well. And he's kind of a futurist theorist kind of guy. But he talks a lot about technology and where we are. And anyway, this is a great article that happens to be in the Atlantic. And it occurs to me that a number of these things I've bookmarked. It's heavy on the Atlantic, these tabs. So, but anyway, go read this if you're interested about technology in the future. And it's called Why Technology Favors Tyranny. And he mentions blockchains and decentralization, which is the first time I've ever seen Noah Harari specifically mention blockchains and decentralization. Great article. Check that one out. This is interesting to me, the AI that has nothing to learn from humans. This talks about when they put AlphaGo 0 on chess, it mastered chess in 4 hours, the latest version. And then when they put it on the game of Go, it took 3 days to master Go. And this kind of ties in, and I don't know why I thought about this, but when you were talking earlier, Gone Rogue, about aliens and that sort of thing, when you read about this leap that AI is going to get us to really quickly, then you realize that we've just been scratching the surface. There's so much that we didn't know in terms of you put a machine or a computer to some learning and you give it the right sort of approach, and boy, it just kicks ass and takes names. And we're going to have access to a whole lot of information we couldn't have gotten to without AI, and we're going to have access to it really quickly. So if I were an alien race, I wouldn't even contact us until we're a little further on into the whole AI thing. There it is. That's me thinking out loud, but that's a great article about AI.
Aliens would have contacted us by now, like on some Star Trek shit, and said, you know, here's our technology. Use it, you morons.
Well, it's just a thought, but you know, I mean, when you read about the huge impact that AI is going to have, you know, and the other thing is the previous article by Yuval Noah Harari talks about the same thing in broader terms, and then that second article focuses specifically on AI. But when you read about the tremendous impact it's going to have, it's just amazing. It's mind blowing.
Absolutely.
This is interesting. Another thing in the Atlantic, the newest password technology is making your phone easier for police to search. And this has to do with us as typical users or as people who, you know, benefit from computers and digitization and networks. If we don't understand the different components, it's one thing, interestingly enough, in terms of the law and in terms of certain legal principles, it's one thing to demand from you that you give me the password to your phone, an alphanumeric password. It's another thing, apparently, in terms of the Constitution or the way the courts interpret the Constitution at this stage, to shove the phone in your face and use the facial recognition. Apparently, the courts don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with compelling you to stick your face in front of your phone. Somehow, they're fundamentally different. Interesting read there, which brings us to
why I don't use that type of technology.
Right. But then again, you know, this is the big picture stuff where a lot of what's going on is taking place in the legal gray area. You know, interestingly enough, like why is Facebook or why are these big companies have they become the arbiters of freedom of speech, whereas previously we looked to the government. So all this stuff ties in together. Laws, principles, new technology, disruptive technology, the role of business versus the role of government. It all ties together and it becomes a tangled mess. And we're living in the middle of it. I probably should shut up or I'll just go on and on and on. Hold on one second. See if there's anything else. Oh, you got to read this one, Gone Rogue. Where is that? Something about 1491. It's here somewhere. Bear with me.
He prefers to be called Gonagoo.
Right, Gonagoo. Check this one out. It's called 1491. It's in the Atlantic. And what, you know, when I was a kid, they told us that when Columbus came to the New World, there were a couple of million people here. As it turns out, they're learning there were probably 100 million people here. There might have been more people in the New World in the 100 years prior to finally us getting established here, largely wiped out by disease, than there were in Europe at the time. That is fascinating, and that's not what they taught in schools 50 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No, listen, when we talk about like the Amazonian tribes, just in general, it's like, listen, there's this brew called ayahuasca, and just in these guys, in their culture, they've known to mix an amino-amine oxidase, something that inhibits amino acids in your stomachs. Okay, so they've known about this. How do they know some vine does this? Just so that they can activate a vine to you know take you through these psychedelic experiences. Just something like that. This tribal knowledge and how they explain you know where they got this info. How do they even know to mix these two plants that are on other sides of the rainforest? They say that you know the plants told them. So if like I love entertaining this idea also. We believe that intelligence comes in many different forms. Our body, touching, feeling, all of these senses that we've had, it's evolved. It is older than the brain, if you will. Because it has had to make sense of the surroundings all around us. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, dude. I'm 100% on just on the intelligence aspect of it. That there's so much that we have to learn.
We do,
and it's incredible. It's vast.
Yes.
These would all make really good posts for D-like.
Well, cool. Have at it. Like I've said, I open source my thoughts. My projects you'll have to pay for, but if I'm throwing it out there, have at it. Go for it. So interestingly enough, on D-like, so this is related. There's this new type of laser technology. It's called LIDAR. And this one is a article. And all I did was Google lasers, my civilization. And this stuff's in the news recently. And it's about this. They used it, interestingly enough, this also kind of parallels what you were talking about earlier. They used it in the military initially, as they do a lot of technology.
Right.
And it's this kind of laser called LIDAR, I believe. And there it is, LIDAR technology, a game changer. But they were using this over in Afghanistan and in Iraq for military surveillance type operations. And they realized that they could use it for archaeology as well.
Penetrate the ground, right?
There you go, exactly.
Incredible.
And look for previous stone structures, and so there's a good article in the Business Insider about that, and there's another article as well in the New York Times about that. And what else do we got here? I'll try and blow through this real quickly. Oh, so and I was talking about the legal gray area of things. Well, apparently, and this is where we get to looking like our dystopian future starts to look like China's looking right now. You got half of American adults are already in a police facial recognition database. This is frightening.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, pardon?
He said
it doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, it doesn't surprise you, but again, one of the first
you should
things.
Still be shocked because it is not okay, right? We can't be complicit to this shit, man.
And that's the deal. One of the first things I talked about when I came here, the first night I showed up, is my concern is that we take a number, or we take a tattoo, or we take a chip. I mean, a lot of this comes down to freedom of expression has a lot to do with privacy and anonymity, and not being you know what I mean? Not being biometrically censored all the time and tracked everywhere. That's sort of a autonomy that we've always had. We'll lose it by default if we're stupid about it. That's why I talk about this sort of thing.
You should listen to if you guys listen to Julian Assange's last interview on RT before before he went silent, before they cut him off.
Yeah,
if you listen to that interview, super fascinating because he talks about exactly that. Basically, the nano world being implemented now. Right. None of us know it, but I mean, they're measuring, taking measurements and surveying essentially quite a bit more, probably more than we'd like to be.
I also understand that they're developing like little fly-sized cameras so they can spy on you at every single point.
It's actually really, really, it's crazy. And I know it seems super far-fetched, but like the technology is here. It's just not in our hands yet. It hasn't scaled to everybody, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think we're in agreement. I'm not the tinfoil hat guy. I just don't want to see us lose the what was once established identity for people, and move to a stage of identity defined in a very, very different way. So there's that. I mentioned this the last time. This is a great article that talks about the relationship between freedom of expression and code on the internet in the form of 3D printed guns. So that's a cool article in the LA Times. The legal fight over 3D printed guns isn't about firearms. It's about free speech.
Yeah.
Scary, scary stuff. And what else? I'm going to try and just one more and then I'll shut up. This is interesting to me. This is about this phenomenon called compassion collapse. And it's how we find it, and this probably comes from evolution, how we find it more difficult to care for greater people or to empathize with a greater tragedy that involves a number of people far away, whereas we're given all kinds of money and willing to become involved and go out of our way to be helpful towards a single poignant story of the young boy or the young girl that fell down the hole this week. And again, maybe it has to do with evolution, but if we don't recognize that this is a concern and it appears to be a psychological phenomenon, then how do we get to a scale? You mentioned scaling. How do we get to a stage where we as humans can become more globally empathic?
Right.
Interesting article and something to think about. Now I'll shut up. Thank you for your
That's
time.
cool. I like that one. That always rings true to me. I never understand
Right.
why we're not able to think globally about some of those things and have that same type of compassion. It also makes me think about like on the social media network, not to be named, like how many people, if someone famous dies, like how many people put, rest in peace, like they actually knew the person. It's like, why are you doing this? Everyone
All right,
knows that they
man.
died.
I took Christopher Walken's death, or not Christopher Walken. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
premature.
He's gonna be like, hey, I'm not dead. Whoa.
Say it again. I stab you in the face with a soda nine. Carlin, man, Carlin, dude.
Yeah, but you
I don't
didn't.
mean to finish your point, but
Like you
yes.
didn't go to Facebook Live and be like, now listen. I
There were
listened to
tears, but
George.
I didn't Facebook it.
Well, and to me, the question posed is, okay, I mean, so look at where we came from and look at why we're like this in terms of our evolution, what they call evolutionary psychology. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
But you have to acknowledge that we're in a new world and things are changing quickly. Reference the AI I mentioned earlier. And the question is are we capable and we haven't done it just yet, or we're not really aware of how to approach it? Or are we incapable because this is our predisposition and this is how we're hardwired? I mean, these are important questions going forward.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what epigenetics tries to tackle too.
Right.
And honestly, and this was actually in my cryptoeconomics intro of a slideshow that I put together. It's like we're at a point, and we're at a point where we need to scale as human beings because I mean. There's this idea of a Dunbar number, and this Dunbar number says that we can emotionally and mentally only remember about 100 people that how do I say this intimately. You can only intimately remember about 100 people. So anyways, with that being said, I think with the technology that we have going now, cryptoeconomics, cryptocurrencies, is allowing us to cooperate more, right? It's scaling society in ways that we never thought you could be possible. So I 100% agree with you psychologically. All of these things that need to be, these questions that need to be answered. But I think, again, we're living it right now, and we're all trying to unfold this thing and iron out all these wrinkles, and it's coming faster than we think. But I think there's going to be more cooperation in the future for sure. And hopefully empathy. Yeah, sure, absolutely. And those are legitimate questions too, no doubt.
I know I seem like I say it every time, but ESP, are you making content yet, man?
I am.
Well, we all need to say that to him every time.
I put 3 videos the other day, and this is interesting because this is the other thing. Someone on here mentioned that you could put your videos and not list them. So I had been looking around. When I'm quizzing you guys, I'm trying to learn, and I'm actually applying it. I had put some videos on YouTube the night before the Saturday morning vote for Kavanaugh because I was, for me, I was inspired. And the last time I put a video up on DTube, it related to the death of Anthony Bourdain. So sometimes I have to be inspired. So I put up 3 10-minute videos, and I went back and I checked them 48 hours later. And you want to know how many people looked at my videos on YouTube? 0. Goose egg. None of them. Had them in the public. Zip, zilch, nada. But that's okay because they were kind of a learning exercise for me anyway. And they helped me to learn that really that's my deal. Sometimes I have to be passionate before I set a fire under my ass. I
Now,
have
do
a
you take those
bazillion
YouTube
ideas.
videos and put them on a post on Steem?
You know, I thought about doing that, but then I realized that they were just practice sessions. But again, every time I make something, I realize, okay, I'm a little bit closer to being ready to put that stuff up there on Steam It. And any minute now, it's not that I'm lacking for ideas. One is that I'm afraid that people aren't going to understand me. And then two is, and these are probably human things, maybe you can relate. Two is I'm afraid that people aren't going to give a shit. So if I can get those things out of the way and just make the stuff, throw it out there, we'll see how it goes. But thank you.
If I can make a suggestion, I would say fake it till you make it. As long as you believe that you're good, other people start believing it too.
Right.
But it maybe something from just my experience of what I've been doing with the DAP a Day thing. I think a good format for you may be to maybe do a weekly post of 3 of the most interesting articles you read this week, and maybe have a brief summary of it, and then upload a video on YouTube, maybe summarizing them real quick using OBS and going through them. So then that gives people the option to just watch it or actually read through it. You know, we're not always in a position to be able to watch a video, but if we click on it, we may be more willing to at least read the article. So I think that might be a good format if you wanted to do something like that periodically, of like having like 3 just awesome links, briefing it, and then you know, doing a video accompanying it. I think that'd be great.
Well, I appreciate it because you guys are actually like, you guys got balls, man. You guys are doing streaming stuff. You're doing live stuff. You can't.
I had to get over myself. Like I had to break down that wall.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Well, so you know, so when you give me suggestions, I know that it's coming from real people with real experience. You guys are in the trenches.
Another suggestion that I would personally give you is something that I'm planning on doing, and that is doing reviews again. Like back in the day, I used to have a series called TJH Reviews, where I would find a particular thing that I want to review it, and throw it up on YouTube.
Well, I have the boilerplate right up. It's interesting because when we were just looking at your thing, Eric Wilson, for your DAP a Day, I'm assuming that some of that's boilerplate and it's going to get repeated across your range of reviews for various DAPs. So I have the boilerplate for 2 different series and also just kind of my regular thing. And I've got all the subjects listed out, and I've outlined a number of the topics, and I need to make the things. Like I said, I did 30 minutes worth of video content. I left them up all last weekend. It's a good thing I didn't have any views because it wouldn't have made any damn difference when it came to the Kavanaugh hearings. And I was able to look at me on cam and say, you know, what do I need to change about this? What can I learn from this? And just because they're not on YouTube doesn't mean that they weren't great in terms of me learning and in terms of, you know, just instructional material for myself. I think that's where the real value was.
Yeah, I can't offer any exact promises, but I can say, you know, put the content up and I'll help take care of the rest. You know, just as far as knowing the people that value that kind of content.
Cool.
You know, I'll shoot them a link. I'll shoot them the link. Say, hey, check this out. And you just never know who latches onto it and who appreciates it.
Well, I haven't given up, and I'm just slow getting started. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, probably one of the better manual curators on Steam, Eric Wilson. Let's just take a second though for the introverts. So for extroverts, take a second and be quiet. And for introverts, if you are on here and you haven't said anything and you want to say something live, let's take 30 seconds, and now's your time. If you want to do shameless self-promotion, or if you want to talk about anything you heard, or if you just want to say hi and what a great broadcast this has been so far. I want you to be able to do that.
Welcome. Come on, you can't be any worse than that Joe Paris guy.
Hey, one of the things I wanted to say is it's not fake it till you make it, it's faith it till you make it. You got to have faith in yourself, man.
No doubt.
If you don't have faith in
like
yourself,
that.
nobody else will.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some faith in yourself. Because
Was that Paul?
Because it
You
doesn't.
don't, and pretty much you're just gonna have that mentality. You know, you either make it or screw this. I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Terrence McKenna quote that I love, and it's that nature loves courage. ESP.
Right on.
And regarding whether anybody watches your videos or not,
Right.
who cares? Okay. You're posting it out there, you're making it out there, and you're putting it out there. At some point, people are going to start following and watching what you're doing. And when they do that, you've got them hooked. Because then they'll go back and look at stuff you've done previously. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents worth. You can spend it or you can hold on to it. It's your choice.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
You know, and I don't say this because I'm just like, you know, I'm soliciting some encouragement or whatever, you know, ain't nothing damn special about me. I'm just taking my time. I'm slowly getting started on this. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm fortunate that I stumbled into a group of people that are quite knowledgeable and very much involved. And, you know, and even the Q&A we have here is, you know, it's helping me. This is helpful to me. So thank you. And it's going to get going. We're slowly building steam. Bad pun there.
The only thing that I have a challenge with is finding those who might be interested in a particular niche on the Steem platform.
What is your particular niche? I was asking about this earlier before you were here. That was the first thing I asked, is that at some point, tell me about the various projects that individuals here are interested in.
Yeah, well, what I'm working on is entertainment. So it's basically the entertainment industry.
Right.
Just to give you an idea, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, now I do a blog post for the local radio station, kgvrgrapevine.com. So we talk about what's going on here in Grapevine, Texas. And so I do post on that.
Dude, I used to go camping at Lake Grapevine all the time.
There you go. So if you check my post out on Tuesdays, it's Tuesday and Friday. Friday is everything that's going on in Grapevine and beyond. Tuesdays, I take a specific topic and I talk about that specific event or store or things like that. And so those are discussions I do for the radio station. On Thursdays, I typically do blog posts about acting, and Wednesdays about entertainment. So that's basically my week of what I do. Normally Wednesday, I'll throw out different kind of things, whether it be who's going to be on my show on Wednesday, or like today, I put out a video that from acting class. So I just throw different things out depending on what it is. But my main focus is acting and the entertainment industry. So, those who are in the entertainment industry, get in touch with me because I'll be glad to have you on my show.
Mm.
So, in fact, I've had Cowboy Chef Mike Newton from season 8 of MasterChef, and my viewership on that was a couple of hundred people. So, sometimes it helps to have those that are involved that has an audience because they want to see it. Now, what I like about what's going on with Vim is it gives me the crossing of both worlds. It's not just the Steem world, but it's also the external world. I just would like to see some numbers, because the numbers are what drives me, because it tells me, okay, am I getting better? Am I staying the same? If anybody knows about those kind of things, that would be awesome. It's tracking, basically. Anybody have any idea about whether Vim does have those kind of things yet?
Yeah, what kind of numbers specifically would you be looking for?
Like viewership. How many viewers were there? On some platforms, you can actually see how many started with the show, how many stayed at the end of the show, and how long the average of everybody stayed.
No, the closest that I've seen on Vim is on the dashboard itself, there's like this little thing at the bottom that says, this is the number of viewers you've had. And
Sharon just popped up a message here saying they're going to do more in-depth analytics, which I've chatted with him about that before. So as a host or as a show person, I want to see those kind of numbers. I've hosted other shows before. I used to host my own, how to do videos kind of show, easy promo videos back in the day. And, but with my mentors and with other people, we want to know how is that show performing so that we, know if we're putting out the right content, if we are driving people in the right direction. It's that kind of thing that gives us a vision of where we're going and how we're doing and progress, right? And, if you're having one person that views, that's one thing. But if you're having, 100 people view and they stay on for the entire duration of the show, you've got them really hooked, and you do. So, that's why I'm asking, because if you're not delivering the right stuff, you need to know that as well.
That's not kid. You just want your metrics.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool.
I would really be interested to see how many people actually give a shit.
Hey, and that is very true. I mean, some people just don't care.
On the internet? The no fucks given people? We can count all the no
That's
fucks.
really like the main reason why I start everything with, for anyone that gives a shit, I'm TJH.
Right? The cool story bro people? Love me some internet.
Uh-oh.
I didn't hear what that person said.
That's because it's someone else's view, watching the stream and in Zoom at the same time and not muted.
That's me.
Come on, man.
God.
Protocol. Narashi. Yes, that sounds good.
That's me.
Look,
Kanogu and Narachi.
I'm gonna have to mute you, TJH.
Here, I'll lower it.
I don't see no fucks given in the notes.
I see.
That is essential.
Can you walk us through some of this?
Yeah, so I kind of went on a tangent over here with the government watching you.
I like that.
Yeah, so really not much notes because it's all over the place. The only thing that was really bullet pointed and easy for me to kind of write down was Eric's DAP a day. In the middle we have Preemptives. That's the list of the different people that we brought in. And then a lot of guest appearances today.
Awesome.
Which is pretty awesome, yeah.
Nice. And everyone go and make sure that you upvote Narashi. And
Narashi hasn't posted anything in a long time.
Well,
I think he's
just
got a
gift her some Steem or some SBD or something. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think your recap posts with this graphic are always really, really appreciated, and then that gives me an opportunity to go to the links that were referenced, and upvote those and the preemptive strikes and everything. So
sure,
I support you posting more.
I second that, Narashi.
Yes.
And you do have the auto upvote still from DLive 24 hour, so that's
nice.
That's a guaranteed dime right there.
Oh, Narashi, you
Yes.
just got a message from Gone Rogue. It says, make a post.
Make a post.
Exclamation point.
I'm sure that he feels like a broken record at this point.
I like what you do here. This looks great.
You don't like
It's
Steem?
beautiful.
Do you not like Steem? Is that what it is or what?
No, it's okay. So the formulating those really in-depth posts I was doing can take hours sometimes for me to get it perfectly the way I want it. And I think for me lately, I just haven't been putting in that effort to do it.
Is there
sadly.
anything that we can
It is
do
tough. It is tough.
to help you?
Let me encourage you. Oh wait, I'm
no,
probably
I mean,
the wrong person for that.
I didn't know. I mean, if there is anything like gathering links onto a document so that you
Yeah,
can
like
do that.
links
Yeah.
and images onto a document would be monumentally helpful because then I can just place them in and write up, the wording on it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, so you've told me kind of your process on how you do that, and I think the problem she runs into is she tries to recap every portion of it where when we're on like this and she might be making a piece that was on a different topic, she's not quite capturing that topic or that conversation.
That's
so
right.
you
Yeah.
can't really like bring in the essentials of what happened in the conversation. So she'll have to go back and listen to it and all that.
Or ask you, and
Yeah, right.
You
Trying
don't
to
need
capture
any
everything.
time to do shit there.
I'd say make Narashi post something on what's it called, Steep Shot.
I gotta tell you, Narashi, don't bother. It's probably not going to make any difference anyway.
Steep Shot, easy way, or like any app picks is the one that I think Sean and I were talking about getting on and just posting the graphics. I agree. Like you want to put the time in that's necessary, and it is a delicate balance. But I think even just the graphic with the guest appearances and a link list with some pictures, even without the written summary, is still beneficial. And even maybe with a link to everyone's recording or the different recordings of it.
Yeah, and see, and I'm so like I want to put that summary in there, and something that actually makes it easier for me is to just take, like the first paragraph or whatever of each post or whatever stands out to me that defines that particular post as what it is, and kind of quoting it is a quick way rather than writing up my own summary. So that's another option. But I'm definitely OCD in writing those posts, and I say I'm just going to do this real quick, and it takes me hours.
Yep.
So yeah, but I will work on that for this week. I'll get that out there for you guys.
Woohoo! You do it, I'll do it. How's that?
Nice.
Right?
So if you guys are up for it, I got a random person on Twitch. I've actually been getting a little bit of activity on Twitch today, which I think is pretty neat. A random person came in and asked a random question, so they want to hear what the panel has to say. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
The panel, I like that.
Which random is in here now?
They asked, when you see a young couple, does it remind you of your high school life? Does it bring you back to high school life? And for me, yeah, it does. It definitely does. I'm like, oh man, so innocent. Mostly innocent.
Oh, they haven't even had a heartbreak yet.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Just from the fact that my particular high school had this happening all the time. Sometimes you can even hear them humping in the bathroom.
High school. No, when I see a young couple, no, I don't. I really think about when my kids are going to be that age now.
Dude, yeah, I'm with
Let
you, John.
alone that there was like this particular corner that people went to just to kiss and hump and shit.
I think every school had those. Every school had those little
like.
If mine did, I didn't know where it was. This is bullshit.
I like seeing couples that are happy together. I mean, there's just not enough love in the world. There it is. So that's my short answer on that.
No doubt. No doubt.
Joking about it.
There was one hallway had no cameras, and that was the type of stuff that went down there.
I was going to ask.
They'll break up.
I was going to ask if Sharon or Weedman had any comments that they wanted to make about Vim or about Vim Raid Day or about anything that they might want to talk about Vim related while they were here. And if not, that's okay, because I have one more thing that I was going to suggest we do.
Yeah. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And welcome to the Vim team.
Yeah. No, I'm a little bit distracted. I wasn't prepared for this. Yeah, I'm currently working on a new interface for the bot with. Actually, it will have a tutorial for new users. You will be able to do so much more things. I even released a browser extension for Chrome, which you can install, and in the new backend, you can set your DLive and Twitch channel, and it will embed Twitch and DLive messages in your chat when you watch it on Vim or on any other website. And it will also work when you visit a channel of another user who uses this browser extension, and when this user sets his Twitch channel, for example, you will even see his messages. A lot of users actually requested these, and I know that the current website isn't that beautiful. I also needed to upgrade the server yesterday because, yeah, it just wasn't enough RAM anymore.
We appreciate your work. We look forward to it. I'm a big design freak.
Yeah.
I think Eric and Patrick also already joined the Discord, so
guys,
feel free.
I'm on the Vim Discord as well.
Oh God.
Nah, I
Yeah.
have my own.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a post about it. I just got to dig into it though.
I can't say often enough. Vim chat and the Vim bot are not associated with Vim in any official way.
Now that guy on Eric's little stream told me how to do the browser source on Linux, I can finally use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's all from me for now. It's
Okay.
6 a.m.
No, gotcha. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. Sometimes it's hard for me to follow because
Yeah, me too.
yeah, but it's cool and I like the chat.
The chat is awesome. It's a new development here on the pile. So
I gotta go. I love you guys.
all right, ESP, get out of here.
Peace. I'm leaving. Bye.
Later, ESP.
Later, man.
See ya. So
See ya.
just so you guys know, I earned a follower for you guys answering that. So thank you.
Boom.
Nice.
Wow.
Anything we can do to help.
Hooray.
It's all good for all of us. I really I'm really getting jazzed about streaming to more platforms. I can go to YouTube. I can stream to Facebook. You know, I can with caster.io, I can literally stream to all those, you know, like a huge list of platforms with it.
That's
So,
cool.
So, yeah, and it gives you a chance to plug in.
I created a Twitch and caster just to do that.
I think if Paul's still here and he's okay with it, then, you know, we got to give him 10 rapid fire Q&A questions. So,
All right.
Paul, what
Dun,
we
dun,
do
dun.
is Gone Rogue sets it up, and he's setting it up right now. He's going to do a screen share. But any new person that jumps on the pile, you get 10 questions.
while he's setting that up, I got to work on the replay for my stream earlier, so I want to do that and be able to get to sleep at a decent hour. So I am gonna have to let you guys go, but I'll pull up the stream while I'm doing that. So
awesome, man.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Eric.
Eric.
Great show, good job, and we'll coordinate with the people that will from Steam Hunt, right? As far as trying to get them on my show and then have them stay with us for Steeming Pile. I think that'd be the first time we did that. That'd be really neat.
Yeah, let's try. Why don't you work on coordinating it and let us know what you need from us?
Great. Sounds good, guys.
All right, brother.
See you, everybody.
See
Bye.
ya.
Have a good night, Eric.
Bye.
Later, man. All right, Paul. So the idea here is we'll ask 10 questions. You answer them as quickly as possible and as honest as possible. And yeah, it's pretty simple. And we'll try and get through them as quickly as we can. So you ready?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. All right. First question for Paul Caraway, everybody. First question, do you get along well with dogs?
Sure.
What is your most used emoji?
The smile with the little wink on it.
Awesome. What is your absolute dream job?
Boy, that one's a toughie. Retirement.
Nice. All right. What is your cell phone wallpaper?
It's my dream board.
Can you dance?
Yes, I can.
Nice. What is your favorite breakfast food?
Chorizo and eggs.
Dude. Yeah,
Nice.
so good. What does your favorite shirt look like?
Blue. In fact,
Any
I've got
buttons?
one on now. But you're wanting to know what kind of shirt?
No. Does it consist of buttons? I'm just throwing an ad lib in.
Buttons, yeah.
Awesome. Teleportation or flying?
Ooh, I like teleportation.
Yes, good choice.
My nose didn't come with me.
What brought you to Steem?
Some crazy guy by the name of John G. Olson.
Nice. Where do we know John G. Olson from?
He came on our show.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was working on something though, wasn't he?
Oh.
He's working on Steam Savvy.
He's
Steem
working
Savvy.
on Steam Savvy now. I forget what he was working on when he came on here, but he had
Bitcoin
a
Bully.
Fundition, and he
Yeah.
Patrick
He also
wrote
was at speaker at
Steam Creators.
Steam Creators, yes.
Nice. Okay, good stuff. Last question. What season would you be?
Fall.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice. All right, that was the last question, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice job.
Down the road. I have
Yes.
seen every question, all of the new questions that we as a group put together on there, except for mine. Bummer.
Oh
What do you mean, except for yours? What are you talking about?
You
Are
used
do think
everyone's
this is like a
questions but
conspiracy?
mine.
Here we go. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. MMA inside.
I'm coming to the living room right now.
We
I'll
don't even
fight your
have,
ass.
we don't even have to do pay per view.
What is this?
Contest scheduled for one fall.
I have no idea what she's going on about.
I don't know, but I think Narashi should recruit jiu-jitsu to give her some training, so she could take on Gone Rogue.
I'm sure she could take him on by himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got it.
Now, live from this living room, it's time! 5 rounds! All right, sorry.
Don't make me Habib you.
All right, guys.
Just
Well,
kidding. By the way, the fights were excellent this weekend.
they were.
It's only
Oh, dude.
because of the drama. No,
They were
the other
phenomenal.
fights were good
Once
too.
and a hockey game broke out.
He said he went to a fight once and a hockey game broke out.
Hey, I'm a hockey fan.
Cool.
What can I say?
No, that's cool. We we
Go
need more
Knights,
hockey
go.
fans.
Go Rangers, go. Go Hawks, go.
Where are they going to?
I'm rooting for them.
Well, it's getting to be about that time for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to leave the room open, but I got to get rolling.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Oh,
That was
we're
excellent.
rolling, moving.
That was good stuff. For everybody, at least on my channel, coming in and being a part of the conversation or just lurking in the background. Super cool to have you here, and thank you for joining in. And thanks for everybody here and whoever hopped on. Everybody that hopped on. There was quite a few. So thank all you guys, and just making the conversation that much more interesting. It's been good.
No doubt. No doubt.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt. Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Paul.
jumping on, guys. Yeah, Paul,
Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu,
TJ.
TJH, Sharon.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Wheelman.
Appreciate it.
It's always
All right.
fun.
Next
It's a
Tuesday.
wrap. Next Tuesday,
See
it's
you
a
on the
wrap, and
pile.
I think the next one's going to be a bit focused, right?
I think this one was supposed to be focused. Next week is unfocused.
Okay,
But it
cool.
might. But if Patrick gets Oracle D and they want to come on, next week, because I know the one we were going to pitch to them, they weren't able to be at. So we might have Oracle D, or it'll just be another bring your own topic session.
Good stuff.
Then we'll do.
Excellent.
Then we'll have a planning one after that for the politics one on.
Yep.
Election day.
The politics of dancing.
We could do that. You're going to lead the curation for that one and the schedule.
All right.
Because I can't dance. All right, guys.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
We are
Appreciate
out.
it, guys.
Yep.
I'm out.
Have a good one,
everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. That concludes our show for the evening. I'm going to leave you with the official Steam It Anthem by Rest 100, 5-Star Entertainment Group, for a little bit. Later.
Crypto, that's how we roll. Power up, get bold. I'm Steeming. Get your mind stuck on this HTTP. Post my life up like you looking at a TV. Stop your Facebook, get paid for your life, see? Zuckerberg ain't thinking about your life dreams, but they sell your info to the highest bidder. When I spill it all out, they gon' call me. I ain't even have to say it. It's sorta like your information, they couldn't save it. And I don't need to curse, cause this flow G-rated. Find my post get elevated and we never regulated.